Yeah, you are the big team. I'm going to put the corner land on the center point of the choice. Tails is the call.
It's homecoming in Hanover, and Dartmouth is looking to bounce back a week after a setback in their Ivy opener on the road against Penn. Across the way awaits a Yale team looking to keep their Ancient 8 record unblemished and play spoiled on Dartmouth's big day. It's the Big Green and the Bulldogs. It's coming up right now on ESPN. Good afternoon and welcome inside the booth here at Buddy TV Stadium at Memorial Field. I'm Matt Corsetti alongside Ryan Zimmerman. Thanks for coming to hang out with us here today. Every game, Ryan, in the Ivies is so important, but especially so for the Big Green after dropping their opener on the road last week down in Philly.
Obviously, every game is a must-win, but especially this year with Ivy League teams finally being admitted to the FCS tournament, the urgency is cranked up. One more loss can potentially take Dartmouth out of contention, and especially going up against a Yale team that figures to be at the top of the Ivy League standings as well. This already feels must-win in Week 2 of conference play.
Bulldogs are 1-0 in Ivy play this year. Big reason their opening win over Cornell is their outstanding running back, Joshua Pitzenberger. Not just one of the best you'll see in the Ivy, but one of the best in the FCS.
One of the best ways to break in a new starting quarterback is to have a ground game you can rely on. Josh Pitzenberger is one of the best in the Ivy League at setting the tone and running hard, and he will be a big part of their offense this year as they push for an Ivy League title.
On the other side, for the Big Green of Dartmouth, they are no slouch in the running games themselves. DJ Cruther atop the table in several categories in the Ancient 8 when it comes to running the football.
And he provides that power spark to complement quarterback Grayson Chanye's ability to move outside the pocket. Dartmouth has primarily been one of the best running teams in the Ivy Leagues as of late, and DJ Cruther is just the next man up in a long list of outstanding Dartmouth running backs.
Big Green won the toss, elected to defer to half number 2, so Matisse Weaver will place the ball on the 40-yard line as we get set to get ready here at homecoming for the Big Green of Dartmouth. Coming to the record, 2-1 overall, 0-1 within the Ivy League. Yale also at 2-1, 1-0 within the Ancient 8. Weaver's got the ball teed up at his own 40-yard line. Joshua Tarver back deep to receive. Our officiating crew for today looks like this. Jeremy D'Angelo is our referee. Zach Kirby is our center judge. Umpire David Hack. Headline judge Steve Singleton. Joe Letizia is our line judge. Field judge Eric McRone. Side judge Kyle Brown. Roger Jerez is the back judge. Replay official up in the booth is Bill Schoen. Swing the right leg from Weaver. High kick tumbling towards the end zone. Tarver's going to take it out a yard deep. Already across the 15, looking for some space. Up towards the 20, takes a big smack. Hangs on to the football, but the Bulldogs will start from their own 22-yard line as we are officially underway here this Saturday afternoon. Thanks again for coming to hang out with us. On behalf of Ryan Zimmerman, the man on my right, Kelvin Kirkland, leading our entire crew. Excited to be back with you here today for homecoming for the Big Green of Dartmouth.
It feels like Hanover is the place to be. You had the rally last night. In the lead up to this game, there were a lot of people in green sweaters across the city. This feels like the talk of the town today, and a win would only make the celebration that much sweeter.
First toe of the game here for Pitzenberger, dragging tacklers with him across the 25. Good run there on first down. Picks up about 6 yards or so. Will set the Bulldogs up at second down and short. Pitzenberger, as we highlighted off the top, one of the best backs that you are going to be able to see in the course of the Ancient 8. And slinging the thing this afternoon will be Dante Reno, standing up shotgun behind center right now. And off again, Pitzenberger, inside run. Rumbles his way just shy of the 30. Bulldogs need to get to the 32, so a third down and 3 coming for Yale.
With a running back as good as Pitzenberger, even in a situation like this, 3rd and 6, I wouldn't be the least bit shocked if they go back on the ground or at least go play action to keep Dartmouth honest on the run game.
63 yards on the ground last week on 18 attempts, his first sub-100-yard game of the season. Looks like there's movement up front. Flag's going to fly. Free play coming here for the Bulldogs. They've got a pass complete to Nico Brown on the outside, making a couple of tacklers miss. Dives across the 35. Bulldogs likely will keep the result of the play, picking up a first.
Dante Reno executed the hard count well there. He got one of the Dartmouth defensive linemen to jump. Normally in that situation, you see teams throw the ball a little further downfield, try and get that. At least take the free shot, but Reno had an open man and Brown near the sidelines, and if a guy's that wide open, you got to get him the ball.
7 receptions last week for Brown, the senior out of Huntington Beach, California. He's the man moving in motion to the backfield right now. Reno stands in, pumps, Now we're going to set up a screen coming here to Pitzenberger. Wrapped up across the 40-yard line. Bulldogs trying to move the ball quickly and effectively, and they're keeping the offense most by and large on the field. First time we'll see Pitzenberger spelled. Wilhelm Dahl, the senior out of Amityville, New York, will check in for the first time this afternoon. Yale coming off a 31-13 loss last week on the road against Lehigh. A game that was tight. It was only 21-14 till late in the third quarter. Mountain Hawks tacked on a field goal. Put themselves up by 2 scores. Pitch comes over here. Dahl. Flag flies on the play. He's got some space across midfield. Dahl on his feet and wrapped up around the ankles by Sean Williams in Big Green territory. But this flag thrown back at the Bulldog 38-yard line. We'll see what the yellow on the turf is. So a 14-yard run will come off the books and force the Bulldogs back here.
That's a big break for Dartmouth. While Pitzenberger was more of that in-between-the-tackles power-type runner, Dahl's the speedster in the Yale backfield. He can bounce one out to the outside, as we saw right there. It's that power and light, or it's that thunder and lightning type combination that can make Yale's ground game so dangerous.
So 3rd down and 10 now for them. It should be 2nd down. They got 3rd and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10, excuse me, coming. And off into the line, looking for some spaces. Dahl, but he's going to be stood up after a gain of maybe a yard or so. Nico Schweikel in amongst the tacklers for the Big Green of Dartmouth. It's a Big Green defense that got a bit of a makeover. Some experience that came back, but mostly on special teams. Talking about a very stout defensive line a year ago that was one of the toughest to run against in all the FCS. Had to replace a lot of pieces, and for the first time this afternoon, we'll see the Bulldogs first into a 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9 for Yale, coming from their own 42. Pressure coming. Reno swinging to the outside. Pass is going to be incomplete, but a flag flies on the play, and I think it's going to go against the Big Green of Dartmouth. That seems to be the signal, hold. So it's looking to be a 3rd down stop against the Big Green. Is going to get wiped out.
It's against the all-Ivy Leaguer Sean Williams. Got a little too handsy down the field, and the referees are going to call that one every time.
These are 2 of the most penalized teams within the Ivy this season. Yale in particular has been flagged for over 9 accepted penalties per game. Dartmouth over 5. 1st and 10, just shy of midfield. Pitzenberger with the tote. Looking for some space around the right side, not much doing. Patrick Campbell in over there amongst Thaddeus Generis. 9 tackles last week in the loss against Penn for Generis. Big Green falling in their Ivy opener on the road a week ago down at Franklin Field, 36-24 against the Quakers of Penn. It was short fields and Dartmouth miscues that set the Quakers up for success in that game. Penn had 4 scoring drives of 50 yards or less. 3 of those 4 were less than 30 yards. Swing pass to the outside, trying to get Pitzenberger into space. Look at the power there from Pitzenberger. Looked like he was dead to right, shy of the 45. Instead, he carries tacklers with him and finds his way just a couple yards shy of a 1st down.
Dartmouth knows just how dangerous Pitzenberger is carrying the rock in between the tackles. So it looks like Yale's trying to get a little more creative in how they get on the ball, especially on the outsides. Already 2 receptions today on screen passes, and he looks good in open space.
3rd and short here, 3rd and 1 in Dartmouth territory. Reno tries to go to the hard count to see if he can get the line to flinch. Reno walking back from the line here. Play clock starting to tick its way down. Calls for it. Handoff. Pitzenberger has a hole's got the 1st and more across the 40. Bursts down inside the 35 to the 34. They needed 1, and he picked up 10 on the run. 71 yards a season ago when these teams got together down in the Yale Bowl in one of the more epic college football games that you would see. See the power and the speed there from Pitzenberger. That hole just burst through it so quickly. He gets spelled here. Dahl's to the right of Reno. Shotgun coming. Reno across the middle. Has Santiago, and he takes a lick. Jamal Cooper with the closeout and knocks that pass away incomplete, bringing the thunder from the secondary.
Excellent coverage from Cooper on Santiago that time. Gave him just a little bit of space to make Reno think that Santiago is open, but he timed his hit perfectly to dislodge that football.
Dahl will stay into the game to the right of Reno. 2nd down and 10. Handoff comes. Space around the left side. Stutter step to the outside. Turns the corner. 1st down and more. Slips a tackle and is finally forced out of bounds. But the Bulldogs moving the ball effectively here on drive number 1. They've got it in the red zone against Dartmouth, but there's a flag.
Number 58. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's on the center, Leo Bloom. Surprised to see that on a run where Dahl takes it to the sideline. The penalty goes against the most interior lineman.
Bloom, the senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Often you hear coaches and offensive linemen talk about the challenge that can be when a running back, a play that's designed to go up the middle, bounces to the outside, getting that release as a blocking lineman. So that wipes the 1st down off the board, pushes the Bulldogs back to the 44-yard line. They need the 24 to pick up a first. So 2nd down and 20. They'll keep it on the ground. Pitzenberger, couple yards, not much more than that. Schweikel again on the tackle. 5 tackles last week against the Quakers of Penn, but going back to talking about the Dartmouth D a week ago, there's a lot of short fields. You saw the 36 points, maybe not surprising considering some of the talent the Quakers have on the offensive side of the ball, but Quakers took advantage of some miscues. They were presented opportunities and certainly seized that game. But now 3rd down and long. Reno stands alone. Big Green trying to bring pressure. It comes. Reno's going to get flushed. Reno's just going to have to get rid of it. Cameron Lee applying the pressure on the backside. And that will likely force the Bulldogs into a punt.
In a 3rd and long situation like that, Dartmouth had a lot of liberty to deliver pressure, especially up the middle, forcing a quarterback like Reno that isn't known for his mobility out of the pocket where he's least comfortable. And the back end of that play, the secondary did their job. There was nowhere for him to throw that ball.
Reese Kenny on to punt here, standing at the Dartmouth D logo midfield, the sophomore out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Looking to try and drop this one somewhere inside the 20. Sean Williams waves for a fair catch, runs away with it. And we'll watch it skip into the back of the end zone. So nice job there by Williams to feign the fair catch. Big Green will come out to their own 20 to start their first drive of the afternoon. Just underway here in Hanover. The Big Green bring the offense out for the first time here on homecoming day. Homecoming here in Hanover traditionally is marked by the large bonfire on the Dartmouth Green, but they had to change course this year. There's severe to extreme drought in most of the Granite State, so we had a laser light show that was put up last night to take the place of what usually happens on the Dartmouth Green. Hoping to lead his team to victory this afternoon is Grayson Saunier. Lined up shotgun. Saunier a week ago, 16 for 30, 142 yards. That was coming after the phenomenal performance against Central Connecticut. Handoff goes DJ Crother, who runs probably about 30 yards to maybe pick up 2. Trying to find the edge was Crother, just not able to turn the corner. Take a look at the numbers on Sagne on the season. He's already up to 793 yards passing. You have to remind yourself coming in that in terms of college football and being a starter, he's still very much in his infancy. Split time last year under center with Jackson Proctor, and it was against the Bulldogs a year ago down in New Haven where he really put his star on the map. Second down and long, slung to the outside. Pass is caught here to Luke Reeves. Turns, has first down yardage, and more. Reeves will fall across to the 32-yard line. Good sign for the Big Green. Luke Reeves has his 5th catch of the season after being held off the sheet a week ago at Penn.
Even though he wasn't the full-time starter last year, it's so invaluable to get a guy like Sagne into the game. He's got such a unique skill set, able to beat you with both his legs and his arm, that they had packages in place to allow him to stretch out a defense from side to side. Now that he has the reins, it's automatically built into the other defense's game plan.
And off comes to Crother, is able to run a man over and picking up a couple of yards. Rosize Danian coming up from the secondary to make the tackle, but out for Crother picks up 3 yards on the first down run. Last year against Yale, 44-43, Dartmouth winning in overtime. Sagne did not start that game. In fact, he wasn't even listed second on the depth chart going into the game. Jackson Proctor was listed first on the depth chart. Determination was made that he was not able to go. Woods Ray got the first 2 series as the starter before Sagne was put into the game. And all he did was have the game of his life. 20 of 34, 276 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, rushed for 84 yards and 2 scores on just 12 attempts. Stands in here, read option play. Handoff, Crother, right up the middle. Crother continuing to move the pile. Crother's got the first down, plus a little bit of extra more. Good run there. 10 yards on the carry for DJ Crother. We talked about Pitzenberger coming in today, and with good reason. Right behind him in terms of Ivy ranks, in terms of rush yards, yards per contest, it's DJ Crother.
And Crother does it a lot of the same ways as Pitzenberger. Loves to square his pads, find some space between the tackles to find gaps. And especially with a guy like Sagne under center, first year as a starter. We talked about this with Pitzenberger. One of the best ways to break in a new starter is to have a solid run game.
Crother bounces to the outside after there's no hole there. Throws a stiff arm and does well to fight forward for a couple. Up to about the 48. And Ayodorojai was in on the tackle that time for the Bulldogs.
It's kind of like the Pitzenberger-Dahl combination with Yale, except it's with the quarterback Sagne on the Dartmouth side. While Crother can get you those tough yards in between the tackles, you have the luxury of having a quarterback that can bounce it out on design runs or scrambles, so the defense has to stay honest to the run game pretty much everywhere across the line of scrimmage.
He ran for 2 scores last week against the Quakers of Penn. 50 yards in total on the ground. Sagne will hand it off this time. Desmond Jackson has a hole. Jackson bursts through. Close to first down yardage. And it will be enough for a first. He needed 7. That's exactly what the senior out of Menifee, California was able to get.
A lot of space up the middle for Jackson to find the hole. You take a look at the blocking right there for this Dartmouth O-line. They opened up the B gap right for Jackson to shoot through.
First down and 10 coming from the Bulldog 45. First drive of the game for the Big Green. Motion from O'Bara across the formation. Handoff right back into Jackson. Bursts through the line. Gets wrestled to the turf by Abu Kamara. But not before he picks up just over 5 yards.
Jackson's more of that one-cut type running back. Put your foot in the ground and quickly change direction. Especially against a Yale defense that's really physical. Likes to get on the line of scrimmage. Having that quick change of direction can really open up space in the second level.
Big Green will send 3 wide receivers on the field. No Daniel Houghton today. He was out on a scooter to get things started, so injury that was suffered against Central Connecticut carrying through and not available for the Big Green this afternoon. Jackson again gets the tote, picks up maybe a yard or so. We'll set up a third down and short for the Big Green. Or maybe third down and long, depending upon how you look at it.
Third and 4, I'd call this more of a medium situation, right? But you still have the entirety of your playbook. And if I'm the Yale defense, I would keep all eyes on the quarterback, Sagne, try to keep him inside the tackle box, make you beat him with his arm.
Crother is checked back into the game. He's to the left of Sagne. First crack at a third down here for Dartmouth this afternoon. Sagne is going to try to sling for it. Stands in, looking down the sideline, has a man. O'Bara hauls it inside the 20 and forced out of bounds, shy of the 15. What a grab by Grayson O'Bara.
Give the Dartmouth O-line a ton of credit. Yale sent pressure, but it was picked up, and Saunier had plenty of time to deliver a strike to O'Bara down the sideline.
Good grab for O'Bara. Had just 2 catches last week after back-to-back 100-yard games to get the season started. He was the first Dartmouth wideout with back-to-back 100-yard games since Hunter Hagdorn in 2016. Stretch play on the right side, nothing doing. Bottled up in the backfield is DJ Crother. Tackle on the play made by J.P. Schmidt. So Dartmouth loses some yardage on the play, officially 4 yards. They'll set up a 2nd down and 14 for the Big Green. Dartmouth in the red zone this season has been very good. The first 3 games, they've made 12 trips inside the red area. They scored on 11 of them. 8 of those 11 trips have been touchdowns. Crothers stays in to the right of Saunier. Bulldogs showing 4 men across the front. That's what they'll rush. Saunier gives to O'Bara, tries to make a man miss, wrapped up quickly. No surprise there. Abu Kamara able to make the tackles. The ball gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Kamara, the Stats preseason All-American, was put on the preseason Buck Buchanan Award watch list. That goes to the best defensive back in the FCS level.
He's already made a big impact for this Bulldogs team this season. 2 interceptions in their Ivy League opener against Cornell, a big reason why they got off to a 1-0 start in Ancient 8 play.
Big Green 2nd, 3rd down crack here on this drive. Chris Corbo motioning out to the far slide slot. Quick swing pass coming here to Crother in space. Tries to dive forward, gets across the 15 down to about the 13. And that will bring the field goal unit onto the field for Samuel McCorkle's squad. Owen Zalk 3 for 5 on field goals this season. 1 for 1 last week against the Quakers at Penn. This will set up about a 31-yarder. Perfect day here in Hanover. Perfect fall day, one might say. About 63 degrees at kickoff. No real wind to speak of in either direction. So Zalk will line up with Woods-Ray on to hold as the Big Green look to strike first here this afternoon. Snap, hold is down, the kick is up, kick is on the way. It is no good, push to the right. So Zalk pushes the kick towards the right. We're going to stay deadlocked, 0-0. Big Green with the drive. Had a lot of promise. Grayson O'Bara showcasing some skills coming down the sideline. Dartmouth moving the ball on drive number 1, just not able to get points out of it. Just over 2 minutes ago here in quarter number 1. Still 0-0 between Dartmouth and Yale.
These Bulldogs are the top dogs. Forward, over 5 winner. Into the round of 32. National NCAA Women's Rugby Championship in the Big Green of Dartmouth. It's over. That will do it. The Brown Bears and the Lions walk off. And Cornell will play a championship Monday.
To dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else. Dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
You just sit there all day, doing nothing, adding nothing.
Are you even listening to me right now?
It's like we don't even want the same things anymore.
Growth and expansion isn't going to pay for itself.
I think we need to see someone.
We need you for all of this.
Want to get more out of your money? Then make the move to Ledyard Bank, where you'll find a true banking partner that always puts your financial well-being first.
I feel like we've made real progress here.
Ledyard Bank. Advisors, partners, neighbors.
Dartmouth failing to score on a red zone attempt for just the 2nd time this season. Got set up in the red zone. Beautiful catch there by Grayson O'Bara.
Yale was daring Saunier to throw and beat him or beat that defense with his arm, and he delivered a strike to set the Big Green up.
Quick sling to the outside. Nico Brown makes a man miss and is going to run for first down and a little bit more. Nice work by Harrison Keith to come in from the backside and haul Brown down after a gain of around 13. Make that 14 as the ball moves up to the Bulldog 34-yard line. It gives them a little bit of breathing room.
Brown came into this game as Yale's leading receiver, and early on when Reno needs something quick, get the ball out of his hands fast, Brown is that first look.
Handoff, Pitzenberger dancing behind the line, works his way through Zion Freer Brown for a gain up to, well, the 38-yard line. So 5 yards on the first down run for Pitzenberger, who already has 6 carries on the afternoon, with just less than 90 ticks remaining here in quarter number 1. Big Green embarking on a long drive that ended with the Zalk missed field goal attempt. They took 7:17 off the clock, 13 plays overall. Bulldogs had 14 plays on their opening drive before it stalled out. 2nd and 6, handoff, Pitzenberger dives into the line. He's somewhere in the scrum and be brought down just shy of the 41.
So if you're Yale, this is where you want to be. Pitzenberger's that guy that can get you 3 to 4 yards of play. And it sets up 3rd and short opportunities like this where you have the entire playbook to go to. Dartmouth can't just key in on Pitzenberger.
Make that 7 attempts overall for Pitzenberger of the 15 plays which Yale has run to this point. Motion across the formation, little push pass coming here. Brown's looking for the corner. Stutter stepped. He's going to be pulled down across the 45 to the 46. More than enough for a first. Sean Williams on the tackle.
Already 3 catches for Nico Brown in the first quarter, and pretty much every catch he's had, Yale's tried to work him into space. That time, you have him motion in the backfield and give him a running start on what essentially operates as a rush, and he just beat Dartmouth to the edge.
Bulldogs might not have the home run hitters they've had in years past, like a David Pantelis or a Chase Needad or a Mason Tipton, who's now catching passes for the New Orleans Saints, as the first quarter will come down to a close. This is just drive number 2 of the game here for Bulldogs. Both teams with long drives to get the game started. Neither able to break through. Bulldogs will flip the field and come back out to start things with the football here in the second quarter. No score after 1 quarter of play here in Hanover between the Big Green and Yale. teams start finding themselves inside the top 25. Crimson Harvard find themselves in the top 25 of the recent coaches poll. Picking up a big win last night at Harvard at home. Nationally televised game on ESPNU 34-10 over the Big Red of Cornell. First play of quarter number 2 for the Bulldogs. Handoff goes to Pitzenberger. Rumbles just shy of midfield. Picking up 3 yards. Will set up a second down and 7.
Now, one ESPNU Ivy League game in, and we already have a viral moment. Cornell punted on 3rd down, and that made the rounds on pretty much every social media platform you could think of.
ESPNU will be in the neighborhood up here in the Upper Valley a couple weeks from now when the Big Green take on Columbia on Friday, October 24th. Pitzenberger looking for a hole, going to the left side this time. Thaddeus Generis wrestles him down to the ground after Pitzenberger picks up a pair across midfield to the Dartmouth 49.
That's a huge game coming up, too. A matchup between 2 of the 3 Ivy League champions from a season ago, especially now that there's no such thing as a co-champion anymore, only one automatic bid to the FCS playoffs. That game will have some serious standings implications.
3rd down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs. They're 4 for 5 already on 3rd downs this afternoon. Reno standing in, looking. Pass is going to be deflected. Pressure getting into the backfield. Good work there by the Big Greens. Bruce Williams to get in and get a paw up and help knock that one down to the turf. Punt unit will find its way onto the field. Looked like they were looking for just a moment, but here's a look at that pass breakup.
The 2 common links between Dartmouth's 2 3rd down stops was their ability to get pressure up the middle. First time they forced Reno out of the pocket, throw the ball away. This time they get in his face and they get their hands up to block that pass.
Kenny on to punt. His first punt sailed into the end zone over the head of Sean Williams. A little more distance here. End under end kick. Williams waiting for the fair catch at around his own 11 is able to hang on, and that's where Dartmouth will start with their second drive when we come back after this timeout. Just underway here in quarter number 2. Both sides looking to strike through here in the second frame as it's homecoming in Hanover for the Big Green of Dartmouth.
We see the promises you make. Doing more than your fair share. Working twice as hard. Saving lives, changing lives. And your life's work deserves nothing less than a lifetime guarantee. You made a promise. So did we. DIAA's promise of a guaranteed retirement paycheck for life is a promise that pays off.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Look, we need to talk. I love being with you. We have fun. We do almost everything together. There comes a point where I just need more from you. I feel like you have a lot of room for growth. Do you know what I mean?
Want to get more out of your money? Then make the move to Ledyard Bank. Whether you're looking to save, transfer, borrow, invest, or make payments with your money, we're here to help.
I think this will be really good for us. You'll see.
Ledyard National Bank. Advisors, partners, neighbors.
Quarter number 2, just drive number 2 here for the Dartmouth offense. Their first possession of the game went over 7 minutes, covering 67 yards on 13 plays, but Owen Zalk missing from 31 yards out, kept him off the scoreboard. Handed off to E.J. Cruther. Finds some space. The pile's still moving. Finally, it's going to be forced back after Cruther finds his way to the 16-yard line. Dartmouth has been good on the ground this season. They've rushed for 100 yards plus in each of their first 3 games. As you see a look at some of the other Dartmouth offensive numbers, and some of the numbers coming in for the Bulldogs of Yale as well, but over 1,200 yards of offense for the Big Green through the first 3 games, including 400 plus in that one against Central Connecticut.
they looked pretty good on their opening drive, too. Grayson Saunier made a couple of big throws. DJ Cruther and Desmond Jackson broke off some good runs, but those mistakes in the red zone doomed Dartmouth to no points.
Trying to set up the screen on the outside to Aubert. Only picks up a couple to the 18. So that will put the Big Green into a third down for the third time this afternoon. Third down and about 4 coming for Dartmouth. On the season, they've converted 59.5% of their third downs. That's first by percentage amongst all teams within the FCS. You know, the Bulldogs would love to stop here and try and flip the field. Saunier with Cruther to his left in the backfield. Kedrick Fisher as the motion man. Saunier rolling out, looking, has him in middle of the field, broken up. Phoenix Grant, the linebacker, read that play, came across and batted it down to the turf. What a play.
It was that late adjustment that allowed Grant to get to the football. Initially, Dartmouth had an open man at the first down marker, but Grant broke out of his zone quickly, read Saunier's eyes as he was rolling to his left, and got his paw out in the nick of time to prevent a first down.
Jackson Santiago stands back just shy of midfield, off towards the left, and his feet tickling the 5-yard line is Luke Armistead. Believe it or not, only the 6th punt of the year coming for Armistead. Nearly gotten to in the backfield. Santiago looks to field. Santiago juggling the football, and he's able to fall on top of it. Good coverage downfield for the Big Green. But the Bulldogs able to make play defensively and hold Dartmouth to just a 3-and-out in their second offensive series of the afternoon. Phoenix Grant, right man, right spot, helps to turn the football back over to the Bulldogs as they look to break through here in quarter number 2. Just underway here in the third quarter. Big Green going 3-and-out on their second drive of the game. It was a 45-yard punt coming from Armistead. This pass thrown across the middle. And that time Sean Williams' turn to try and bat that one to the turf. Looking for the tight end Brady Wagner as it goes incomplete.
Dartmouth will try to do what Yale just did to their offense on that last drive. You get a look at that last play. Williams read it well. He spotted the open receiver about 5 yards downfield, and quickly he closed down the throwing lane for Reno.
Reno now 5 for 10 throwing the football, 39 yards. 2nd and 10. Handoff goes Pitzenberger. Stutters step, runs through a tackle. Pile's still moving. Pitzenberger somewhere inside the scrum will finally be brought down shy of the 45, but an inspired run there by Pitzenberger, picking up 7.
Already 10 carries for Pitzenberger on the afternoon. It's clear he's a big part of Yale's offensive game plan to attack a tough Dartmouth defense. But outside of him, Yale hasn't had as many contributions offensively to help them generate some momentum.
Bulldogs facing another third down, 4 for 6 on third downs today. Pitzenberger stays in the game, 42 yards rushing for him. Went for a $142 in their Ivy win over Cornell. That was also a 3-touchdown day. Reno stands in, 4-man pressure, floating it down the sideline. Pass hangs up for Brown. Toe taps, and he's able to make the grab. What a catch! Nico Brown down to the Dartmouth 28.
That's the arm talent that got Reno an offer from the SEC before heading to Yale. Perfect back shoulder ball to beat an all-Ivy DB in Williams. And that might be the momentum swing Yale needs to get their offense going.
So Yale got up to the line quickly there to try and get that playoff, as you saw, but the buzz came in from up top. They're going to review whether or not Brown was able to bring that catch down inbounds. You mentioned it, Reno dropping that one on the bucket. How about the adjustment by Brown to turn to be able to make the grab?
It's clear Reno and Brown have developed a close connection in their short time on campus together. Even if this is overturned, you can just tell these two are thinking the exact same thing. Brown runs the route on the outside. Reno knows exactly where to put the football, and it looks like Brown got a foot in. This, I think, should be confirmed.
Certainly looked like Brown was able to drag that right foot, keeping it in bounds, but what a throw and what a catch. Brown, we mentioned, the senior out of Huntington Beach, California, played in just 3 games this season ago, was injured for all the 2023 campaign, so really getting a chance to shine here in his senior year. Here's another look.
Reno knows that the DB, that's Cameron Best Alston in coverage, my apologies, is in pursuit towards the numbers. So Reno knows he has to put the ball on the back shoulder in order to give Brown a chance. And as soon as he looked up, the ball was right there, and Brown made what was a really tough catch look routine.
Jeremy D'Angelo has the ruling. So a first down catch for Nico Brown, who continues to impress this afternoon. 28 yards that time on the chuck and toss. Bulldogs find themselves in Dartmouth territory. Reno now 6 for 11, 67 yards after that 28-yard throw. Pitzenberger's rushed for 42. Brown's the only wideout that's caught a pass so far. He's the only person other than Pitzenberger to handle the ball on offense, not counting Reno. Pitzenberger, stretch play, stutter step, looking for a hole. Makes a man miss in the backfield and takes what could have been a loss, at least turns it into a gain of a couple.
That last pitch and catch, that's Yale's first that's Yale's first downfield shot of the day. Everything has been a bit more dink and dunk, 5 yards, hope for something after the catch, or they hand it off to Pitzenberger. But I'm interested to see, now that they've connected on one deep shot, does that give Dante Reno and this Yale offense the confidence to continue trying to spray the ball downfield?
Bulldogs had a couple of deep shots last year in the Yale Bowl, 2 60-plus yard touchdown passes this season ago in the eventual 44-43 win for Dartmouth in overtime. Pitzenberger shuffling his way down to the 22 gains for another third down coming up for the Bulldogs, who are 5 for 7 on third downs to this juncture.
This is a big reason why. A lot of their third down opportunities are in third and short, third and manageable situations. They're doing the work they need to do on first and second down to make life easy on third, and now they're in 2-down territory, perhaps on the doorstep of the red zone.
Dartmouth fans trying to come behind the D, but Pitzenberger, too much space, comes to the middle of the line and bounces again to the outside. Has just enough to move the sticks. Needed the 21. So he needed the 18, excuse me, and that's where he gets to. Zion Free or Brown in on the tackle, but the sticks will move again.
It felt like Yale was giving themselves 2 chances to convert on the ground. And when you have a guy like Pitzenberger, you really only need one. He's such a tough runner, so hard to bring down, and when he has that forward momentum, you just know they're going to convert.
Pitsenberger's checked out here as Dahl has come back in. Reno now looking to try and tuck and run. Reno makes for the sideline, but there's a flag thrown down. Back at the 27. So Big Green able to get pressure as Yale went empty in the backfield. Jeremy D'Angelo, our referee, holding against the Bulldogs seems to be the signal.
When Dartmouth has been successful in getting pressure, it's been in Reno's face. They've been able to break through the interior of this offensive line and force him out of his comfort zone, scrambling to his right. That time, it looked like one of Dartmouth's interior rushers got through, and they had to hold him to keep Reno from taking a hit.
So it stays first down here for Yale, but now coming from the 28 of the Big Green. Reno stops and turns, swinging to the outside. Dahl looking for space, and Dahl's going to be wrapped up for no gain. Well pursued that time by the Big Green's Jordan Barnes. Barnes was getting blocked on the screen pass, but was able to fight through it and bring down Dahl with the tackle.
Yale's ran a couple of those screen passes, more so with Pitsenberger early in this game, but turning to more of their speed threat in Dahl to try and gain the edge. Dartmouth did a great job of setting the interior and forcing Dahl to run into the tackler.
2nd and 20 for the Bulldogs from the 28-yard line of the Big Green as we approach the halfway point here in quarter number 2. Run, Pitsenberger breaking a tackle in the backfield, putting the shoulder down. And then again the scrum, he'll be stood up and eventually driven down into the turf. Forward progress give him down to the 24.
Now if you're Yale, you had the penalty that slowed you down on first down. You're sitting in a 3rd and 20 situation. Check that, they haven't changed the distance yet, but I would expect them to play this conservatively. The way that their defense has been playing, you can trust them to make a 3-point lead stand up in this second quarter.
3rd and 16 as Reno stands in. Big Green trying to dial up some pressure middle of the field, looking for Santiago, but it's thrown behind the receiver. Williams was in the area, as was Tyson Grimm. Now we'll bring the field goal unit on. There's Noah Piper, the first year in Flower Mound, Texas. We're ready to try and put one through. He has hit from 50 yards this season. Let's get a look at the last play.
Dartmouth's coverage was so good that Williams and Grimm actually ran into each other. They both beat Santiago to the ball, and he had no chance to make a play on that to the receiver.
This one will come from just beyond the 31-yard line, so about a 41-yard kick coming from Piper, who hit a 50-yarder against Cornell, has the distance, and this one is through and good. So Piper splits the uprights to get the Bulldogs on the board first, just over halfway gone here in quarter number 2. Big Green able to make a stand, but Bulldogs get a lead here first, 3-0 in front.
Life is full of unexpected twists, and that's where we come in. At the Richards Group, we provide more than insurance. We provide peace of mind. We're your trusted insurance partner, protecting what you value most right here in Vermont and New Hampshire. Whether it's your home, car, or business, we've got you covered. Life in our region is full of adventure. Live it to the fullest, knowing we're just a phone call away. The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Sorry I'm late. As you know, we're running a business here, and you have done a lot for us, but we think you can do more.
So we're putting you in a new position where you can step up, add value, and make a real difference for all of our futures.
What do you say?
Ready to put your money to work? Then start working with Ledyard Bank, where our trusted advisors are here to help businesses like yours achieve their financial goals.
You're going to be just fine.
Ledyard National Bank. Advisors, partners, neighbors.
Let's look at Nolan Groom's two-time Bushnell Cup winner, the top player in the Ivy, receiving the offensive Bushnell Cup last year, and educated Delhi, the Big Green of Dartmouth, taking home the defensive side of the Wolves a season ago. Groom is one of just 6 two-time winners of the Bushnell Cup Award. Delhi taking a grad transfer season, now playing his football at Rice, just outside of Houston, Texas. Kickoff here, fair catch will be weighed for and taken by Desmond Jackson, so the Big Green will come out to start on their own 25, looking to try and get level or possibly take the lead here in their third drive of the afternoon.
Their offense has shown some positive signs on their first 2 drives, especially in their opening possession. They held the ball for over 7.5 minutes, but they just stalled out in the red zone. Couldn't get their act together. A couple of penalties handcuffed them a bit as well, and the normally reliable Owen Zalk just pushed his field goal attempt wide right.
Nearly 7.5 minutes on their opening drive before the Big Green went 3 and out on drive number 2. Grayson Saunier, 5 of 6 today for 43 yards. DJ Cruther, 6 attempts, but only 18 net on the ground to this point. Play action, Saunier standing in, looking, has time. Saunier still looking, now he's going to have to scramble, and he's got some room to try and work with. Saunier faking the pass downfield, turning the corner at the 35, and is going to be run out of bounds by Joshua Tarver at the 36. So first rushing attempt for Saunier on the afternoon, who ran for over 80 yards and 2 scores last year against the Bulldogs down in New Haven. Takes to the turf for the first time here today.
That's an outstanding adjustment from Saunier. He initially kept his eyes downfield. Yale took away his initial read. He wanted Nick Lemon running the go route down the near sideline, but as soon as he spotted the open turf in front of him, that's when he knew the first down was there with his legs.
Jackson stutter step, burst through a hole across the 40, wrestled down to the turf. Brandon Webster, the man that made the tackle, but not for Desmond Jackson, is able to rumble his way past the 42. Good pickup on first down.
If Dartmouth is going to cap off this drive with a touchdown, they're going to need a lot more players to step up. Saunier's been doing well early on. He's flashed the talent both with his arm and his legs, but the guys around him need to make some contributions. Cruther and Jackson have shown flashes today. They need to help him out in the run game.
Handoff going in the backfield. Again, Jackson stood up coming near the midfield line. Osise Danian, the first man that made contact. Abu Kamara behind him to clean up the tackle, but more than enough for a first down as it gains 7 just shy of midfield.
Jackson with an excellent run that time. Again, he's that guy that can put his foot on the ground, change direction quickly. The offensive line gave him a lot of time to find his hole, and once he got it, he burst right through it.
Big game catching the ball against Yale last year. 4 receptions for 48 yards for the then junior. It's Cruther back into the backfield. Have not said Chris Corbo's name much this afternoon. He's lined up off of end right as Saunier looks to adjust the play call. Libero steps up to the line. Play clock winding down. Motion coming from Lemon. First down and 10 handoff goes here to Cruther. Wrapped around the ankles. Gets maybe a yard, but somehow comes out of it. Looked like he was dead to rights back behind the line. Cooper Austin had his hands around his ankles, but Cruther able to knife his way forward for a couple.
Gain of 2, second and 8.
We haven't seen Dartmouth do this too much today, slow things down and huddle up. But now that they're on the plus side of the 50, Saunier slowing down the tempo a bit.
Second and 8 after the 2-yard run by Cruther, who's to the left of Saunier. Saunier standing in, looking outside, has a man, Nick Lemon. Turns at the 40, will be driven out of bounds, but picks up first down yardage. There's a flag, though, thrown late on the play. We'll wait to see what it's going to be. Look at the pass completion coming to Nick Lemon. His first catch of the afternoon. Will it stand?
If it's on Dartmouth,
Ineligible receiver downfield.
and it is,
Number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
it wipes away a really good play design. Nick Lemon was wide open on the near sideline, but sometimes when you're in the pocket so long, the play breaks down, especially with Saunier's ability to scramble. As an offensive lineman, you lose track of where the ball is and where you are on the field, and they just wandered a little too far away from the line of scrimmage.
So instead of first down and 10, it sets up second down and 13 for the Big Green as they move back to their side of midfield. Both sides have seen a first down wiped out due to an offensive penalty. Snap comes. Bulldogs rushing forward. Pocket collapsing. Saulnier's going to try and tuck it and run now. Saulnier with some burst coming across the 40. Wrapped and thrown to the turf, but not before picking up another first down. Gets 14 on the scramble. Phoenix Grant eventually with the tackle.
We haven't seen Dartmouth run any design run plays for Saulnier, but he is doing work with his legs on scrambles. This time, pocket collapses. He steps up and sees the running room ahead of him. He's done that a couple of times on this drive. Nowhere to go with the football. Okay, I'll just pick up the first with my legs.
Scrambled his way to a 32-yard touchdown last year against Yale. That eventually helped to tie that game up at 37-all. Bulldogs bringing pressure this time. Saulnier wrapped up and is able to get out of it. Turns just looking downfield. Will fire this one away. Bulldogs brought the house. Ezekiel Larry was able to get a paw on Saulnier, who's able to wiggle himself free.
Pressure didn't quite get home for Yale that time, but the second and third level of the defense did their job. Saulnier was looking to get rid of that ball down the sideline, and there was just nowhere to deposit it. The only play there was a throwaway.
2nd and 10 coming from the Bulldog 39. The Dartmouth offensive line has yielded just 1 sack through the first 3 games, and using air quotes when saying the word sack, Saulnier lost his footing backpedaling last week after a Penn blitz and went down to the turf without being touched. That went down as a sack. Jackson up the middle, but gets tripped up by his own offensive lineman, trying to cut around Bashawn Washington, but instead he goes down to the turf. There was some space for Jackson to work with as he was able to get himself free. Instead goes down after a gain of a couple. Big Green facing a 3rd down and about 9.
Well, Matt, in years past, Dartmouth would say they were in scoring position with the strength of Owen Zalk's leg, but now that you've seen him miss a field goal from inside 40 yards, does this turn into 4-down territory?
They're close to his range. He's hit from 54 in a game before. Need a couple more yards to try and set up an attempt from that distance. Bulldogs bringing some pressure. Saulnier scrambling, rolling. Saulnier turning the corner. Saulnier's got some turf to burn. Inside the 25-20. Saulnier still on his feet and scampers out of bounds at the Bulldog 10. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 12, but a gain of 26 yards on the scramble for Grayson Saulnier.
The way to neutralize Saulnier's legs is to keep him contained in the pocket. Zarion Jackson-Bass just allowed him a lane to escape out to his right, and the way that Dartmouth schemed up their play, they were able to open up space with Yale and man, and Saulnier had plenty of room to run.
52 yards rushing now for Saulnier, half coming on that last play. Calling for the shotgun snap. Stands in, middle of the field, looking, throws into triple coverage, and it's going to be incomplete. Danian nearly came away that tried to force it into Chris Corbo at the goal line. Dangerous pass.
You mentioned, Matt, we haven't said Corbo's name too much today, but this is where you would hear it. 6'5", 250 pounds, the first team FCS All-American from a season ago, would be Saulnier's go-to target in the red zone. But he was double teamed. It's tough to get him the ball when Yale can key in on him.
2nd down and 10 coming from the 12. Dartmouth can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown. Now student body left designed here for Saulnier. Turns a corner. Saulnier at the 5, still on his feet, brought down from behind. Just shy of the first down marker. Ayadarojai is able to make the tackle. Saulnier lost his helmet on the play, so he's going to have to come off the field here on a critical 3rd down and short.
That's the first designed run for Saulnier on the drive. Just get him out to his left. And he's such a good runner. He can spot the holes that form in the defense. But at what cost does it come? Woods Ray is not that type of quarterback. He's more of a pocket passer. And you have to use a timeout to get him back on the field, Saulnier.
So Dartmouth will call a timeout here to talk things over as they, it's the 2-minute timeout, as we're coming down. So the 2-minute timeout, Big Green don't have to take a timeout, but we're going to take the timeout here right now. Dartmouth knocking on the door with just over 2 minutes to go here in quarter number 2, trying to take a lead over the Bulldogs of Yale. legs of Grayson Saunier, keeping this drive alive. This scramble setting up the Big Green with a 3rd down and 1 coming from the Yale 3-yard line. This is Saunier getting up. Trying to argue with Joshua Tarver, maybe swiping at the helmet and knocking it free. Either way, the 2-minute timeout coming, and the Big Green will bring the offense back out, looking to get their first points of the afternoon.
The 2-minute timeout is well timed for the Big Green, too. Because of the break in the action, normally when a player's helmet comes off, they have to sit out for a play. But I believe because of the two-minute timeout.
So Dartmouth did take a timeout, and we still have the 2-minute timeout. So I think the Big Green taking the timeout so Saunier can re-enter and get himself back into the football game.
I believe you're right. I don't think the rule applies with the 2-minute timeout, but it does if you use a timeout. So I think this means they have to reset the clock, and we'll get a second 2-minute timeout break, which essentially functions as an extra timeout for both teams.
So the clock is still showing 2 minutes, so it looks like we went to the 2-minute timeout, then Dartmouth electing to call a timeout off of the 2-minute timeout so Saunier can stay in the football game. 3rd down and 1. Saunier scrambling a couple of different times on this drive. That was really the first design run we've seen for him this afternoon. He's in the backfield with Cruther. As the Big Green trying to keep the drive alive and get some points on the board before the half comes to a close. Snap comes, handoff goes. No, it's going to be a keeper. Saunier turns the corner towards the end zone line. He's in! Touchdown, Dartmouth. Read option play in the backfield. Saunier tucked it into the gut, and it's fitting that he finds the end zone after being the driving force behind that Big Green drive.
Well, that's exactly why you take the timeout and put him back in the game. He just offers so much with his legs that you can't afford to not have him out there. That time, Yale keyed in on the run or on the read option in Cruther, and Saunier made the right read and fell into the end zone.
And now we will have a review to see if Saunier made his way into the end zone. Reminder, Dartmouth was able to pick up a 1st down without having to score a touchdown. No question about the fact that Saunier had picked up at least a 1st down. Now we'll take a moment to see if the knee was down before the ball crossed the plane. If it stands, it'll be the 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Saunier. Picked up 2 rushing touchdowns last week on the road in that 36-24 loss against the Quakers of Penn. But the Big Green responding with a big drive after Yale was able to get on the board. 12 plays it took them to find the end zone, or ostensibly find the end zone. We're still waiting to find out whether or not the call is going to stand. Jimmy D'Angelo talking up top. Bill Schoen, a couple booths down from us. They're taking a look at everything right now. Remember, the call on the field was touchdown, so they have to find something conclusive to overturn the call. Even if it's overturned, the Big Green still sitting pretty. It'll be 1st down and goal to go inside the Bulldog 2. Here's a look.
Taking another look at this, I think Saunier was just an inch or so short. It looked like Dylan Yang pulled him down just at the last second to keep Saunier out of the end zone. But Matt, you're spot on. This is a goal-to-go situation for Dartmouth because of the 1st down, and you still have 4 chances to get in. It's not like that was a 4th down play and it's do or die. You can still run your offense in a goal-to-go situation.
So the Bulldogs trying to save some clock as well. Big Green won the opening toss. They deferred, so they'll get the football to start things off in the second half. But Yale here trying to make sure that they have some clock to use if they get the football back and trying to put some points up before giving Dartmouth a chance at that double possession. So Dartmouth will have to try to line up and do it again, but this is going to be 1st down and goal to go from about the half-yard line. The ball is in between the 1 and the goal line. You can see it right there. Great shot by our camera crew. So not a long way to go for the Big Green. They've got some guys that can rumble, but last week saw some misfortune for Dartmouth when they had to replay it down. They punted away in the second half. Good punt coming off the boot of Luke Armistead. They depend the Quakers deep, but a procedural penalty against Dartmouth forced them to repunt the football, and on the ensuing snap, it went over Armistead's head. He had to kick it out of the back of the end zone for his safety, helping to give 2 free points to Penn early on in that second half. So you're hoping here for the big green. This is not a miscue, obviously, per se, just coming down shy of the goal line, but they have to try and find a way to get in, and anything can happen on these goal line scrum plays.
I wouldn't even call this a mistake on Dartmouth's part. They got the first down, and Saunier was just incorrectly ruled in the end zone at the time. You still have 4 chances to punch this in, and you could do this a number of ways. And with Yale keying in on the run, I would like to see Saunier bounce one to the outside, give him a chance to throw for a score.
First down and goal to go from the 1-yard line. Pistol set this time for Saunier. He'll hand it off to Crother up the middle. Nothing doing. And the Bulldogs are going to take their second time out here to try and preserve some clock.
Momentum is such a fickle beast in the game of football. And the way that Dartmouth's drive has gone, this is a big momentum generator. Matt, you touched on this earlier. Yale wants to prevent Dartmouth from double dipping. You score here, give your offense enough time to respond before half, before kicking the ball back at the start of the second. This is just a chance for Yale to reset, figure out how you're going to get your offense going. And I know that offensive coordinator,
It was timeout, Yale.
excuse me, offensive coordinator Chris Ostrowski is having that conversation with Dante Reno on the sideline right now. We've got a 2-minute drill coming up. What are the best ways to get the ball out of your hands quick and get down the field against the Dartmouth defense that you have had some success against today?
Bulldogs 124 yards of total offense to this point. The Big Green 153 on their side. It's been pretty split down the middle. Yale 13-47 in terms of times of possession. Big Green 14-18 with this drive continuing. Second down and goal to go, coming from pretty much the exact same spot. Bulldogs did a nice job last time submarining the line and letting Kamara get in there to help make the tackle. They empty the backfield out this time for Saunier. Crothers the man on the numbers who will move in motion. Snap comes, Saunier reads. Saunier driving towards the end zone. Saunier can't get it. He's going to be stood up again. If anything, loses about a half yard or so on the play.
That felt like a really predictable play call. Dartmouth had been moving up and down the field because of Saunier's ability to run, and now that they're at the goal line, Yale is just pinning their ears back and committing to Saunier on a designed run.
See Ezekiel Larry, Xavier Coleman in the backfield along with Abu Kamara. The ball's actually moved backwards yards. So now third down and goal to go coming from the 2-yard line. What can the Big Green try to draw up to find their way into the end zone?
I think this is 2-down territory, so you still have a couple of chances to break the plane here, but I think they should go back to the idea I had originally at the start of this set of downs. If you're going to put Saunier in motion, give him an opportunity to throw. Yale has stuffed the design run already once. Why not get him going outside the pocket, and if he's going to score with his legs, let him scramble his way in rather than on a design run.
14th play of the drive. Saunier goes under center for the first time this afternoon. Barking hard, Saunier will turn. Saunier sees pressure, just floats it towards the corner of the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. Dartmouth went to throw for Phoenix Grant, the man of the hour right now for the Bulldogs of Yale, getting into the backfield. And what is the Big Green going to do right now? Sammy McCorkle looked down the sideline, and I think they're going to call a timeout and talk over their options. But that play got blown up from the jump. Phoenix Grant batting down a pass earlier today, and this time getting into the backfield, disrupting the flow of the offense. And Dartmouth burning a timeout to talk over their options.
Well, I think Dartmouth read my mind, but so did Yale. We talked about this earlier on the drive, Matt. The way to stop Saunier from beating you with his legs is by keeping him in the pocket. Grant rushed from the near side, or rather from the strong side, and with the pressure coming right in Saunier's face, he saw it coming the entire way, and he just panicked. He had a couple of guys open in the far corner of the end zone, and he dropped that ball right in between both of them. That rush just forced him to speed up his mechanics on that throw.
It looks like the Big Green are keeping the offense on the field. Owen Zalk is on the sideline, so Dartmouth is going for the touchdown here on 4th down and goal to go. Sammy McCorkle rolling the dice here, hoping to try and help his team find their way into the end zone and build some momentum before the half. He said last week's game against Penn was a big momentum game with a lot of swings. He's trying to get the pendulum to come back in the favor of the Big Green. Saunier from his traditional shotgun position. 4th down and goal to go, coming from the 2-yard line. Snap will come. Saunier looking for a hole. Saunier stood up and he's not going to get it. The Bulldogs with a goal line stand. Turnover on downs, and the Big Green failed to put points on the board before the half. And that Yale sideline is absolutely pumped up.
Well, Matt, I like the idea for Dartmouth to go for it on 4th down, but I just don't like the play call. Saunier had been gashing Yale with his legs throughout that drive, in no small part because of how much space he had to run. In a goal-to-go situation, you take your first snap in that series from inside the 1, and bouncing him to the outside just doesn't have the same effect when you're on the goal line. It felt like Yale knew exactly what Dartmouth was going to do before they ran the play.
What can the Dartmouth D try to dial up here as the Bulldogs just looking for some breathing room? Jalen Tate, the first man in the backfield to help make contact and bring Saunier down. So a big play for the Big D lineman. Dartmouth 4 cracks at it from inside the 2-yard line. Now Pitzenberger, a little bit of space to run with. Moves with the pile. Up across the 5 all the way up to the 7. So Yale with some immediate breathing room here. No timeouts though left for the Bulldogs.
Now, if you're Yale, your perspective changes. You're not trying to put together a 2-minute drive off of a Dartmouth kickoff. Now you're just trying to get out of the shadow of your own end zone and just run the rest of the clock down.
2nd down and 5 after the gain of 5 there for Pitzenberger. As you mentioned, they're going to let this tick down as far as they can before they take a delay penalty. Handoff, Pitzenberger, bit of a hole across the 10. It's going to be close to a 1st down and should pick up a first as he finds his way to the 13. Nico Schmeichel in on the stop for the Big Green of Dartmouth. And Dartmouth will take their final timeout here, 45 seconds to go in the half. 3-0 I don't think is how anyone had this game ticketed coming into the halftime break. But the Bulldogs able to get 3 on the board. Owen Zalk missing from 31 yards out, and Dartmouth appeared to break through on a Grayson Saunier touchdown run, but upon review is said to be shy of the goal line. 4 cracks at inside the 2-yard line for the Big Green of Dartmouth, and full credit to that Yale defensive front for keeping him out of the end zone.
This Yale defense has done something that no other team has done this year. Dartmouth came into this game with 12 red zone trips. They came away with points on all of them, but now they've been held scoreless on 2 red zone trips today. Those 10 points could be a huge deciding factor in the final moments of this game.
It gets early late in the Ivy League. Big Green dropping their opener a week ago against the Quakers of Penn. The chance of the FCS playoffs on the lines for everyone this year. A 2nd loss. Almost certainly nothing shy of a death knell to get that opportunity. Pitzenberger does what he's supposed to do, just keeps on moving forward, is able to find his way up to the 20-yard line. And that will likely do it here in half number 1. Pitzenberger, a strong half that's going to put him over 70 yards rushing before we hit the halftime break.
Yale still has to run one more play, but I would think they just take the knee and get this to halftime, or they just have Pitzenberger run out the clock himself.
No rush here for the Bulldogs. Big Green will get the football to start things off here in half number 2. Reno calling for the snap. It comes. Handoff. Pitzenberger just dives into the line, falls across the 20 up towards the 23, and that will do it here for the first half of play. 3-0, a single field goal coming off the right boot. Yale's Noah Piper is all the scoring that we have seen so far. Story of the game is what the Bulldogs have been able to do defensively, particularly in the red zone. Dartmouth was knocking on the door towards the end of half number 1, but Yale able to come up with a goal line stand. Physical on the front, the Bulldogs have been here today. Nothing bigger than this. 4th down and goal to go. Big Green trying to go for it. Instead they're denied, and they find themselves trailing 3-0 at the half.
great news that we heard over the winter time about being able to go to postseason play in the FCS playoffs.
You know, as someone who's been in the league for a long time, I can't imagine a better announcement. The kids are thrilled, the coaches are thrilled, and really excited.
I don't think I had more texts and emails on the day I got hired. The excitement from parents, alumni, the entire community was entirely positive.
This is why we do what we do, to compete against the best, and this gives us that opportunity.
Players were really, really excited. It definitely was a very high level of excitement throughout the entire program. Our players always wanted to have that opportunity. Really, it was like program-wide, you know, an amazing moment for us, and just one that we're really thankful for.
Just really, really excited to be part of a time that finally has occurred and it's going to happen for our league.
In my time through this league, I've seen some very, very good Ivy League football teams that would be super competitive with some of the top teams in FCS.
We have, and all the teams in our league have played the very best in the country, you know, and beat the very best in the country.
This league has gotten better over the last 20 years, and now we get an opportunity to show that on a national scale.
You see us, we're competing against teams that go to the playoffs and win games.
The lights turn on a little brighter when you go to the playoff. We've never done that, and that's going to be part of the excitement.
They have the opportunity to showcase the talent level, the type of individuals we have, the coaches we have, one more feather in the Ivy League's hat. There's something you can provide to a student athlete.
Okay, Yale, so today we are doing the crossbar challenge. All they gotta do is kick the soccer ball into the crossbar. Who do we think is gonna win? Looks like Patrick needs some help getting the ball off the ground. That's a close one from Sean Williams. But it's Patrick Campbell that hits the crossbar first. A true Cinderella story.
Hanover in front of a capacity crowd at Buddy Teven Stadium at Memorial Field. The fans have been treated to a little bit of a rock fight between these two teams so far. 3-0. Yale is in front of Dartmouth here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome back inside the booth here at Buddy Teven Stadium at Memorial Field. I'm Matt Corsetti alongside Ryan Zierman. Thanks again for coming to hang out with us here on your Saturday. And even we played first half between these two teams, Ryan. No side getting quarter either way, and that's why we sit at a 3-0 game here just at the halftime break.
That score, Matt, is a little misleading because both teams have been able to move the ball. We've had nearly a combined 300 yards of total offense, but it's just been miscues on the plus side of the 50 that have kept the score from being beyond 3-0. Dartmouth had 4 opportunities to punch the ball into the end zone from inside the 1 yard line at the end of the first half. Yale stood them up. Yale's had their penalties on their drives that have kept them out of the end zone. The second half will be determined by which team can execute at the end of drives. And so far, we just haven't seen that from either of these two teams.
See the numbers there, as you were just mentioning how things are pretty much almost split 50-50 between these two squads. Just some miscues on both sides and not being able to capitalize on red zone opportunities being part of the difference for the Big Green here today. Those are the tail of the stats. Now we're going to show you the tail of the tape in half number one. The only points that we have seen here today are coming from a Yale field goal on the scoring drive. Bulldogs mixing things up a little bit, taken to the air. This is a beautiful pass to Nico Brown down the sideline. Dante Reno, in terms of passing the football today, picked up 28 of his 68 yards on that single sling down the sideline. Joshua Pitzenberger working his way 75 yards rushing in the first half, and actually setting up the field goal coming here for the Bulldogs. This one was good from 6 yards by Noah Piper, and that got the Bulldogs on the board here in half number one.
Really, the entirety of Yale's offense has been Josh Pitzenberger and Nico Brown. They haven't found ways to really stretch out this Dartmouth defense, but they've been gaining 3 to 4 yards per play, whether it's bruising between the tackles or hitting ground on the sidelines.
Offensively, the Big Green really moving the ball at the end of half number one due to the legs of Grayson Saunier. Saunier, 61 yards rushing on a big scramble. You see right here, 26 yards on that rumble down the sideline. When out of bounds at around the 12, Dartmouth seemed to be trying to punch the ball in. They got 4 cracks at it coming from the one. This is the play that got them down deep into Yale territory. Set them up first down and goal to go, but 2 cracks at the one. Then after a loss of a yard or so and a handoff to DJ Crowther, a couple cracks at the 2. Big Green electing to go for it on 4th down, but the Yale team does its job and keeps Dartmouth down in the end zone and off the scoreboard in half number one.
Really, Saunier has been able to burn this Yale defense because of his ability to improvise. The rush is coming. He's able to find space to run and break the big ones that way. But down in and around the 5-yard line, those running lanes weren't there for him to take advantage.
Half number 2, Ryan, if you're thinking for some keys for both sides, what's one thing you would say for each squad?
Just find ways to move the ball down the field. You're not going to be able to get your offense in rhythm if you can't put together plays between 5 to 10 yards. So find ways to stretch out the defense and don't just rely on the 3 yards in a cloud of dust that it feels like both teams have been working with at points throughout the first half.
Big Green will get the football to get things started off in half number 2. Back in just a moment. Here from Buddy T. the Stadium at Memorial Field in Hampton. Big Green looking to blaze a comeback trail for a second consecutive season against the Bulldogs of Yale. It was a game that Yale looked like they were going to win running away. They led 37-16 with just over 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter before Dartmouth staged a comeback for the ages. Eventually 44-43 win coming in overtime. Bulldogs were going for two at the end of the first OT. Grant Jordan passed the end zone, sailing just high, and Dartmouth escaping with the most improbable comeback wins down the New Gate. Underway here in half number 2, opening thick sails through the end zone. Big Green will come out looking to try and get things moving. Kept off the scoreboard in the first half. We saw a missed field goal from 31 yards out, and then stuff from 4 attempts inside the 2-yard line to close out the first half. And the Bulldogs D doing great work keeping Dartmouth off the scoreboard.
You're right, but this is a big possession for Dartmouth right here. You had the halftime break. You had the chance to make those adjustments. And while Grayson Saunier has been outstanding with his legs today, Yale has forced him to run to beat them. They've executed the game plan the way they've needed to, forcing him to use his arm for that to be the deciding factor. We'll see if Saunier can get that part of his game going in the second half.
Just 5 of 9 in the first half for 43 yards. He's going to come out slinging here. They look to the outside for Reeves. Has a catch across the 30 to the 31, but there's 2 flags down on the play. We'll try and get the laundry sorted out. There's a flag that was thrown from the far side of the O-line and one that was thrown in the backfield. Jerry Angiulo, our referee.
We have multiple fouls on the play, both against the defense. Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense number 93. That penalty be declined. Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense number 2. That'll be 15-yard penalty. Carries an automatic first down.
So Mac Johnson and Ezekiel Larry both flagged for illegal hands to the face. The Big Green will get some breathing room as the line of scrimmage moves its way up to the 40.
Yale's defense played an outstanding first half. It's not often that Dartmouth's offense is stuck in the mud, and this is the first time this season they've been shut out in a half. But the one thing you can't do to give them momentum is commit penalties. You did your job on first down, kept the gain minimal, but now Dartmouth is right at midfield.
Handoff will go to Crother, looking to try and get going. Contacted in the backfield, does well to get to the line of scrimmage. It was Larry that got the first contact to DJ Crother. And Micah Shaber coming in to clean things up. Run for no gain. Crother has not found the running lanes this afternoon. That's his 9th carry. He's accumulated just 20 yards rushing.
Yale's won the line of scrimmage. It's been evident since the first snap and exemplified in that goal line stand. They've gotten that push, and it's kept guys like Jackson and Crother from having a big impact on this game. The majority of Dartmouth's rushing yards have been on Saunier's scrambles.
Pressure coming. Saunier stands in, slings to the outside. There's Chris Corbo for the first time today. Corbo refusing to go down. Wrapped up. It takes 4 Bulldogs to try and bring him to the turf, and they eventually just drive him out of bounds. Pickup of 8 on the first reception for the All-American. And they'll set up Dartmouth with a 3rd down and 2.
He's just the 4th Dartmouth player to catch a pass today. Yale has done a great job of limiting Saunier's options downfield, and all of his completions outside of the Grayson O'Bara 3rd down conversion in the first quarter have only gone 5 yards in the air. We talked about this at the end of halftime. Giving Saunier those 5 to 10 yard passing options could really unlock this Dartmouth offense in the second half.
3rd and 2 for Dartmouth, 3 for 6 on 3rd downs today. Handoff goes to Crother. Contact in the backfield. CZ Danian was in there, and they're going to be denied. Actually, a loss of a yard on the play. Bulldogs dialing up the pressure, and the Big Green are going to bring the punt unit out onto the field, so they get the first down off the penalty, but ostensibly a 3 and out here for Dartmouth on the opening series.
I think this is the right call for Dartmouth. Even on the plus side, the way the offense is played today, or rather I should say the way Dartmouth's defense is played today, I think you have to lean on them heavily to get you back in the game. And if you can force a 3 and out off this punt, you're giving the offense a half the field to work.
Armistead with a running start on the kick. Santiago will watch it bounce. Now he's just going to run away from it as it takes a Big Green roll inside the 10. Will be picked up at the 8. Good punt dropped in by Armistead, his 2nd boot of the afternoon, and the Bulldogs will come out for their first bite at the offensive apple here in half number 2. 3-0. Yale's in front.
Being at an Ivy League school, it certainly is more than possible to be both an exceptional student as well as excel in the sport that you choose to pursue.
I get to sit in a classroom with wrestlers who go compete at a national level, hockey players who are making it to championships. To watch them succeed, at a national level, it's pretty incredible.
I don't think I would be where I'm at if I went anywhere else. It's been really fun for me to just challenge myself and make it to those events and perform and show people that Princeton is a good golf school and you can come here and have all your dreams come true.
Very fulfilling, very rewarding. I feel like you're at a world-class level in multiple fields.
All these schools have been around for a while. Just kind of getting to see Ivy League put it on a national stage is just very, very cool to me.
But now I think people are paying a lot more attention to what the Ivy League is capable of and putting some more respect on the league.
There's been a lot of success in the Ivy League, and the Ivy League is going to be on the big stage more and more often, and I'm excited for that.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. TicketSmarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think TicketSmarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at TicketSmarter.com.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Long field for the Bulldogs to work with on their first drive here in the second half, looking to tack on some points to their 3-0 advantage. From their own 8, first down and 10. Snap comes, handoff, Pitzenberger just dives into the line, looking again to get breathing room. Plays not whistled down, and eventually the pile pushed forward up to about the 14.
This is a big series for this Dartmouth defense. The offense has struggled to find their rhythm outside of one drive today. And if you can keep Yale from getting outside the shadow of your own end zone, it's a lot easier to figure things out for the Dartmouth offense when you only have to go 40 to 50 yards.
Reno slinging to the outside, has Brown for a first down and more. Brought down to the 26, a gain of 13. Nico Brown has been the go-to receiver this afternoon. Dante Reno has completed 8 passes. 5 of them have been to Nico Brown. In fact, he's the only wideout that's caught a pass today. The other 3 receptions on the afternoon have both been to running backs, Dahl and Pitzenberger.
And they've all kind of been the same way. 5-yard route, let him sit in the soft spot of the Dartmouth zone, and Reno's done a good job of picking him out.
First down and 10, handoff goes Pitzenberger, patient to the line. He's not picking up a ton, not a lot of burst plays for Pitzenberger here today. His long rush has been for 10, but that pushes him over 80 yards on the afternoon at 82. Very workmanlike, and going back to one of your points you talked about in half number 1, picking up those 4 yards, 5-yard gains to set them up in third and very manageable here today. This, of course, being second down, officially a gain of 1, they'll say.
For the most part, Yale's offense has been on schedule. Haven't seen them in too many third and medium, third and longs.
Brown goes in motion. They'll shovel it to him. He's able to get past the man on the backfield, turns the corner, has a first down. Chance in the backfield for Bruce Williams to make a play, but Nico Brown's able to skirt away from him. And we got a whistle on the field.
Official timeout for an official's injury.
We have an official right now that's down on the field, but a look at the run there from Brown. Just a little shovel pass coming forth. It's about the second time we've seen Yale run that here today. Get Brown in motion with some momentum behind him. He's able to pick up another first.
They ran that play in the first quarter, having Brown come from right to left, try to find some space along the near side. This time they run it the other way, and it goes to the same effect. Brown's so quick that he gains the corner within maybe a second and a half of receiving the shovel pass. And at that point, he turns into a running back, and he's got such a low center of gravity. He's got physicality, too, and it helped him get that last push to get him across the line to gain.
One receiver we have not seen on the field today for the Bulldogs of Yale is Mason Shipp, the senior. Mention him because he was part of the driving force in helping the Ivy League finally get themselves into the FCS playoffs. Talk more about that during the course of this drive. First and 10 Bulldogs from their own 38. Pitzenberger, stutter step, wrapped up from behind, but as he has done all afternoon, he carries the pile forward for 3. Pittsburgh's yet to have a negative rush this afternoon. But mentioning Mason Shipp, along with Leah Arcari of Brown, they were part of a student athletic advisory committee that exists within the Ivy League, made up athletes of all across different sports. They were the ones that wrote the initial proposal to get football teams to be eligible for the FCS postseason. 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Reno slinging towards the outside. Pass is going to be complete. Got there by Aiden Stevens. His first catch of the afternoon. Patrick Campbell nearly got a paw to it. It will set the Bulldogs up again with a 3rd down, but 3rd and manageable, not 3rd and 5. That's what they've been in for most of the afternoon. 6 for 9 on 3rd downs today. Dartmouth have been holding to opponents to 30.3% on 3rd down conversions this season. That was 2nd in the Ivy League and 12th in all the FCS, but the Bulldogs here today have had their way on 3rd down, but it's because they put themselves into good situations. 3rd and 6 coming. Reno standing in, being flush, rolling. Reno looking down the field, forced out of bounds. And the pass is it picked off? They're going to say yes, intercepted. Big Green come away with it. Sean Williams with the INT. Reno tried to throw it away as he is facing pressure from the backside, but there's a flag down on the far side of the field. Is this going to be a horse collar tackle? That's the question.
Well, Matt, I think this interception might come off the board for illegal touching. It's tough to see from our angle, but I think Williams might have been out of bounds and had to step back in.
Tackle, defense, number 51. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down for Yale.
That takes the INT off the board. Thaddeus Generis came in from behind, and it looked like he pulled Reno down from behind. So wipe the interception away, and new life here for the Bulldogs as the ball moves across midfield.
Well, Matt, I should have listened to you, but when Dartmouth has had success defensively on 3rd down, it's all come the same way. Get pressure up the middle and force Reno to move outside of the pocket where he just doesn't feel as comfortable throwing the football. They did that on that last play, but Generis was a little too overzealous, racing down to go for the sack and keep Reno from making things happen with his legs, that his hand got in around the collar, and that's an easy call for the official on the far side.
4th accepted penalty against the Big Green this afternoon. Across midfield, Pitzenberger, a couple of jump cuts, finds his way back to the middle of the line. Zion Freer-Brown gets hands to him, but as he's done all afternoon, continues to move the pile forward, gains about 4.
Well, if Yale comes up with points on this drive and Dartmouth loses by 1 score, come back to this play. They got the initial push along the line of scrimmage to force Reno to his right, but Generis just committed a penalty he didn't have to. Reno was drifting towards the sideline anyway. It's a tough throw, especially with where Sean Williams was positioned. That's a bailout.
Brown with a good catch, spins and makes a man miss, and just a shoestring tackle away from breaking that one in for 6. Sean Williams with the touchdown saving tackle. Nico Brown having the game of his life right now. 7 catches, 85 yards a week ago against Lehigh. He's up to 7 catches here today, but a great pass and a great catch by Brown.
It's the same formula, the way they've been getting the ball to Brown. It's those quick hitters. This one a little further down the field. He caught this one past the line of scrimmage on the slant, but they're getting him the ball in space and allowing him to make things happen after the catch, and Dartmouth just hasn't been able to get a grip on that yet.
Bulldogs inside the red zone. Handoff, Pitzenberger jumps to the right, now comes back to the left and drives his way down to the 8-yard line. 5 more yards for Joshua Pitzenberger. That puts him over 90 on the afternoon, now with 93 yards on 23 carries.
What's interesting about the way Pitzenberger has run today, you mentioned it earlier, he hasn't had a negative carry yet. He's only averaging 3.8 yards per carry, but he just continues to put together 4-yard runs, 5-yard runs. He's just finding ways to stay positive.
He'll take the carry up the gut this time, carrying tacklers with him. Close to the 1st down line. He needs the 4. Looks like he's just shy.
I think if you're Yale, Matt, this is 4-down territory. You haven't found the end zone yet, and the way your defense is playing with a 2-score lead, it's got to make them feel really confident about where they are. Both teams have struggled to find the momentum today. 6 points would go a long way towards swinging it towards the Yale sideline.
3rd down opportunity. Reno takes the handoff, gives it here. Pitzenberger. It's going to depend on the spot. I don't know if he got it. It looks like he's going to be brought down just shy, so it's decision time now for Tony Reno. We saw Sammy McCorkle roll the dice at this end of the field in half number 1. What will the Yale offense do here, having to pick up about a half yard? Good job by the Dartmouth team making a wall of green. It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field and try and go for it on 4th down.
I think if you're Yale, fake it to Pitzenberger. Dartmouth is keying in on him right here. I think Reno could easily run a keeper.
Bulldogs 4 for 9 on 4th down this season. Pitzenberger's got the carry into the line, turns, and this is going to be close. He got back to the line, spun out of a tackle.
Pitzenberger on the carry for Yale.
I think they're going to have to bring the sticks in to take a look. No signal yet from our officials.
Really tough to see because it looked like Dartmouth made contact with Pitzenberger behind the line of scrimmage, but he's so strong and was able to keep the play alive. The way he fell, though, I think he was just short. It's just so tough to tell because we don't get a good look at the football.
They're going to come out and measure things and take a look. Pull of the sticks, and it's short. Turnover on downs. The Big Green make a 4th down stand. Momentum can swing in all kinds of ways in the Big Green of Dartmouth, hoping it swings in their favor after the 4th down defensive stop. We'll have the Dartmouth drive when we return here from Hanover. Saw the last drive of the first half for the Big Green close out with a 4th down stop from that end of the field, and we saw the first drive of half number 2 for the Bulldogs end with a 4th down stop at that end of the field. Yale going forward on 4th and 1. Joshua Pitzenberger denied, and the Big Green get the football back, but now backed up in the shadow of their own end zone.
For Yale, that was a calculated risk because of what you see right here. As well as your defensive play, you trust them to hold Dartmouth's offense in check, especially how they've been stuck in neutral today. If you can force a 3 and out, they're backed up in the shadow of their own end zone, and Yale's probably getting the ball back around the 50-yard line.
Big Green starting to drive from their own 3. Sonia under center for just the 2nd time today. Hands off for Cruther, who has to make a miss on the outside. Stays on his feet across the 5 and is eventually pushed out of bounds around the 10. Brandon Webster was in the backfield. Nice work by Cruther to make him miss and keep the play moving forward.
Dartmouth really needed a positive play out of the timeout. And Crother just gave that to them. He's such a tough runner, low center of gravity, hard to bring down. If you want to wrap him up, tackling around his legs is not the way to do it.
Coach Sammy McCorkle talking about how physical of a runner he is, but has that speed to break away when necessary. 5 yards on the carry for Crother. So it's up 2nd down and 5. They'll get a 2nd carry of the drive. Stutter step up the middle. There's the power you see as he drives into Joshua Tarver right at the 15. That'll be enough for a first. Bulldogs drive took 13 plays, nearly 6.5 minutes, and there was 88 yards they were able to churn off before it stalled out. The Big Green came up with 4th down stop.
That's been the theme of the day defensively. Bend, don't break. Both offenses have put together longer drives, but the defenses have stepped up when they needed to keep them from turning into points.
Saulnier's thrown for just 56 yards to this point, looking to add to it here. Stands in. He's going to be hit from the backside. Ball's loose. It's on the turf. Who comes up with it? Bulldogs signaling like they have it. And they've got it. Saulnier hit from the backside. The ball comes out. And the Bulldogs recover. Danian in the backfield comes away with it. And just like that, momentum is flipped back to the side of the Bulldogs of Yale.
Well, now it's take 2 for the Bulldogs. And I made this point at the start of Dartmouth's last drive. Going for it is such a calculated risk because of how much you trust your defense, and they step up to make a big play. It looked like Ezekiel Larry coming in off the backside to knock the ball free. And because of that well-executed blitz, Yale starts with a 1st and goal on this next drive.
That's the 2nd forced fumble of the season for Ezekiel Larry. Knocked the ball out against the Big Red of Cornell a couple of weeks ago down at the Yale Bowl. 1st down and goal to go coming from the 7. Can the Bulldogs offense capitalize? Reno looking, corner of the end zone for Brown. Passes up, and the pass is caught. Touchdown, Bulldogs. A beautiful pass to the corner of the end zone. Nico Brown hauls it in, and just like that, it's a 2-possession game as the Bulldogs capitalize on a Dartmouth miscue.
Nico Brown just pulled off a head-top catch. Nokoy Maddox in coverage did a nice job that time, but Reno put that ball in a position where only Brown could make the play, especially with Maddox turned away from the football, and Brown just pinpointed it perfectly to give Yale their first touchdown of the game. What a throw, what a catch.
Noah Piper on for the PAT. Waits, he'll approach, swing of the right leg, no problem with this one for the first year out of Texas. And the Bulldogs turn defense into offense and now have a 10-point lead with less than 5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Nico Brown doing it all this afternoon for the Bulldogs of Yale. Dante Reno, his first touchdown pass of the day. Yale's got a 10-0 lead here in the 3rd.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Life is full of unexpected twists, and that's where we come in. At the Richards Group, we provide more than insurance. We provide peace of mind. We're your trusted insurance partner, protecting what you value most right here in Vermont and New Hampshire. Whether it's your home, car, or business, we've got you covered. Life in our region is full of adventure. Live it to the fullest, knowing we're just a phone call away. The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
Sorry I'm late. As you know, we're running a business here. And you have done a lot for us, but we think you can do more.
So we're putting you in a new position where you can step up, add value, and make a real difference for all of our futures.
What do you say?
Ready to put your money to work? Then start working with Ledyard Bank, where our trusted advisors are here to help businesses like yours achieve their financial goals.
You're going to be just fine.
Ledyard National Bank. Advisors, partners, neighbors.
7 catches a week ago for Nico Brown, hauling in 2 scores and 85 yards against Lehigh. 7 catches this afternoon, now to 98 yards receiving. What a grab in the corner of the end zone. As you said, it's not like the coverage is bad. Brown just made a play on that football, getting 7 points on the board here for the Bulldogs of Yale. Desmond Jackson waves for the fair catch inside his own 5. So the Big Green offense will come back out to their 25, looking to get something going right now. Following a similar script to last week on the road against kind of giving the Quakers short fields to work with. Hard to get much shorter than 7 yards, but have to let the Bulldogs be aggressive and going for it on the first play after that turn.
We talked about this with Coach McCorkle in the lead up to this game too. As well as the defense has been playing today and also last week, it's just so tough to ask them to defend short field after short field. At a certain point, the offense just needs to make one play. That's it, one play to cap off a scoring drive, and if they can get that one, it goes up on the board immediately. Nothing you can do as a defense. And when those stack up, that's when you find yourself behind the 8 ball.
Corbo, the motion man. Saunier rolling out that way, looking towards him. Instead, they find Luke Reeves, 35, tackled from behind, but a flag flies at the back end of the play. Is this one coming back? And that might be the question. Did Dartmouth get too many players downfield too early? But Saunier's pointing as though it's on Yale. Maybe hands to the face again. We'll wait and see.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense, number 54. The 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Babawale Fadiyibi, guilty party. So give the gainer there to Reeves and then tack on 15 more yards. The Big Green move the ball across the midfield line in one fell swoop.
After the play, I was looking at 69 in green, Konstantin Sperk. First of all, great play design. You get Saunier rolling to his right, and Luke Reeves just found the soft spot in Yale's zone, able to stop his momentum and get him the ball. But Sperk, after the play, he was irate. He knew he had taken the hands to the face, and it was just a matter of time before the referees would blow their whistle.
Desmond Jackson brought down by Phoenix Grant, but not before he's able to pick up about 5 yards on the first down carry to the Bulldogs, 44.
We said this on the first drive of the second half, too. Yale's defense has equaled Dartmouth's today, but the one way you can let the opposition back into the game, penalties. They had one on first down on the first drive of the second half for Dartmouth. Didn't come around to bite them in the behind, but this feels a lot more promising for the Dartmouth offense.
Saunier rolling, looking, downfield, floating. O'Bara can't make the play as it's closed out by Danian. Cesar Danian, second team All-Ivy a season ago. Saw the great closing speed knocking that ball to the turf.
This was a big point at halftime, too. The way for Dartmouth's offense to open up is to allow Saunier to get the ball downfield a lot more, and that was a great throw. He had O'Bara down the near sideline, but that ball just donked Danian on the helmet.
So Danian able to come up with the play, being in good position. Big Green facing third down now, just 3 for 7 on third downs this afternoon. Larry showing pressure up the middle. Bulldogs, he'll bring a blitz. Saunier, protections there, floating down the sideline, has a man, it hangs up, and it's going to be incomplete. But pass interference as a flag flies on the play. A tangle up over there. There was Abu Kamara in coverage as O'Bara was streaking down the sideline. The Big Green will pick up the first down by virtue of the penalty, the 6th accepted penalty against the Bulldogs this afternoon.
It's not often that you can say a receiver got a great initial jump off of Kamara, but he got an outstanding release off the line of scrimmage, did O'Bara. Saunier put the ball right on the money, and at that point, the only way Kamara could prevent the touchdown is by committing a penalty.
Looking for the swipe down, just trying to read the eyes, and came across the body. Corbo moves in motion. Saunier pumps, now looking, middle of the field, floating. Corbo had him, but overthrew him. Hands to the helmet for Saunier in the backfield. He knew he had the tight end rumbling wide open. He floats the pass too far beyond. Just goes down for an incompletion.
Dartmouth's play calling is getting a lot more creative midway through this third quarter, heading towards the late stages. Fake screen had Corbo wide open down the near side. Saunier did what he needed to do to get the defense to bite. It opened up so much space for the tight end to leak out. He just aired the pass too much.
2nd down and 10 from the 29. O'Bara moves in motion. Handoff will go here. Desmond Jackson, wrapped up just across the line, is able to rumble forward down to about the 26, so he picks up 3 yards. Zarian Jackson Bass making the tackle. Another 3rd down coming for the Big Green. Last 3rd down pickup came by virtue of a penalty. What can they try and draw up here to keep this drive alive?
Now 3 receivers and a tight end. This feels like a situation where you want to get Saunier rolling out.
Saunier just 8 for 14 for 68 yards this afternoon. He stands in. Bulldogs only rush 3. There's time. Saunier now facing pressure and is going to be brought down by Ezekiel Larry. Larry stayed with it. Saunier ran into the pressure, then tried to run away, but Ezekiel Larry comes up with his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It is so hard for a rush to get home with just 3 guys against a mobile quarterback like Saunier. But as we've talked about throughout the broadcast, the way to do it is to keep him in the pocket. Yale kept contained around the edges of the tackle box, and Saunier had nowhere to go.
Owen Zalk on to attempt a field goal. This is going to be a 56-yarder. It would be a new career long. His career long came from 54. Snap is there. Hold is down. Kick is up. The kick is on the way, and the kick is no good. Big Green cannot get on the board. Zalk had the distance, but not the accuracy. And Dartmouth still looking up at a goose egg on the scoreboard. It's been that kind of afternoon here for the Big Green. Whatever buttons they have tried to push, things have just not seemed to work. Give credit to this Yale defensive line. Ezekiel Larry doing work along it. Have 1 sack on the season coming in today, but brings up his 2nd takedown of Saunier this afternoon.
And both of Larry's sacks have resulted in points. The first was the strip sack. Yale cashes it in 1 play later with the Reno to Brown touchdown. This one not as direct. It knocks Dartmouth out of field goal range. And Owen Zalk, as good as he is, the reigning Ivy League Special Teams Player of the Year, it's always a tough ask of a college kicker to hit from 50+.
Now can the Bulldogs try and salt this one away? Pitzenberger gets a burst and nearly a 1st down as he's brought down a couple yards shy of the marker. That will push him over 100 yards on the day. Now 105 for Joshua Pitzenberger, who has crossed the century mark now in 3 of the 4 games he's played this season.
He's just a bowling ball of a running back. And as the game goes on, the defense gets more tired. He gets tougher to tackle.
2nd down and 2 for the Bulldogs coming from their own 46-yard line. Swing to the outside. This one is going to skip in the turf, incomplete. Looking for Jackson Santiago on the screen.
Jackson Santiago is short and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Coach McCorkle talking this week leading up into the game what makes Pitzenberger so dangerous. It's the speed and the size. 6 foot 215. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you bruising through you. Just such a versatile back. It's a reason he came in today. 1st in the Ivy League in rush yards. 9th in the FCS in terms of rush yards per game. It's also tied for 1st in rushing touchdowns coming into today with DJ Cruther. Neither back has found the end zone today. But Pitzenberger up to 105 yards rushing.
And not just that, he's a 3-down guy. He can stay on the field in all different scenarios. Yale has gotten him involved in the pass game too. He has 2 receptions.
Bulldogs have to take a timeout as the play clock was winding its way down. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep the action here. Everything the Bulldogs has been able to do today has just been hitting all the right buttons at the right spot and the right time. It's the 108th meeting all time between these 2 schools. Last 10 meetings have gone very much in Dartmouth's favor, but Yale winning games back-to-back in 2022 and 2023 in this all-time series. The last Dartmouth win coming at home was an overtime contest against the Bulldogs, 21-14 back in 2021. And of course, last year's epic comeback down in the Yale Bowl. The Big Green No stranger to blazing a comeback trail. 37-16. They were down with just over 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of that game before escaping with that 44-43 overtime win. But the Bulldogs, you can start to feel a sense of confidence kind of wafting up from their sideline as this game continues on.
As long as they keep that 0 on the board, it's only going to continue to grow. Their offense is designed to run time off the clock. When you have a guy like Pitzenberger in your backfield, you can hand it off to him 3 times and expect to at least be in close fourth down territory.
Reno standing in, facing pressure. Now he's just going to have to scramble with it. Throws it ahead, and Brown somehow makes the catch. Play is still going on, and Brown finally brought down inside the 38. When things are going right, they're going right for the Bulldogs. Don't know if that's the kind of throw that a coach would advise a player to make, but Reno just shoveling it forward, and Nico Brown hauls it in. There's a player down on the field for the Big Green of Dartmouth. They'll take a moment to tend to it, but look at the creativity here by Dante Reno.
Reno's not normally a guy that you think about with the greatest escapability, but he just did what he had to do to keep that play alive. That's a throw that Patrick Mahomes might make, just flicking it downfield. He knows that Brown's there somewhere, and the way he's been playing today, more often than not, he's going to come away with a catch. Those two have just been on the same page all game long, and that's just the latest example.
That pushes Brown over the century mark for the second time this season. How about Nico Brown? Got in 3 games a season ago, did not play in 2023 due to injury, made 1 appearance as a first year in 2022. Now up to 20 catches on the season. 217 yards. Has picked up a touchdown here today. Had a 2-touchdown game last week against Lehigh. They're going to swing it to Brown again. Ball's loose on the turf. They're going to say incomplete on the forward pass.
It's maybe the first time that Reno's looked his way, and Brown hasn't been able to come up with the football. Just threw it a bit behind him, and on a screen pass, you want to give the receiver momentum going downfield, and Reno just didn't get his timing right on that throw.
It was a 31-13 loss a week ago against Lehigh, but it warrants mentioning right before the end of the third quarter, it was just a 21-13 game. Lehigh tacking on points there right towards the end, as we've had a bounce play here by Pitzenberger, who picks up a yard or so, but there's a flag thrown back at the 44, excuse me. Jeremy D'Angelo.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 57. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I got him.
So illegal motion whistled down here against the Bulldogs of Yale. That will back them up 5 yards. We'll have to play second down again.
This is exactly where Dartmouth's defense wants to be. In a second and long scenario, it takes Pitzenberger out of the equation offensively and forces Reno to have to beat you with his arm. As good as he's been today, and especially the way Nico Brown has been, and hold on, I think they just took the down instead of the yardage on that penalty, so it'll be 3rd and 10 rather than 2nd and 15, but the point still stands. You've taken Yale's best player out of the equation offensively, and it forces them to have to throw the football, which is exactly what Dartmouth wants.
Putting the Bulldogs into a 3rd down and long for maybe only the 2nd time this afternoon. It's been 3rd and short, 3rd and medium for most of the day. Looks like we're settling where exactly the ball is going to be placed on which hash. So Dartmouth declining the penalty to push it to 3rd down and 10. Bulldogs 7 for 11 on 3rd down conversions today. Dartmouth had allowed 5 total 3rd down conversions combined in their first 2 games. They allowed 5 3rd down conversions last week against the Quakers of Penn. And this is a big 3rd down coming here. Reno barking out the signals. Big Green, rush 4, swing pass to the outside to Pitzenberger is going to be incomplete. Good coverage downfield, had to try and check it down to Pitzenberger. It skips on the turf and will bring the punt unit on the field for the Bulldogs.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Dartmouth has the most success on 3rd down when they're able to get pressure up the middle against Reno. He just doesn't have that same escapability as a guy like Liam O'Brien of Penn. And when he has that pressure in his face, it speeds up his decision making, and he's just unable to get the throw off cleanly.
Third punt of the afternoon for Reese Kenny, who sent one in the end zone earlier today. Trying to coffin corner this one down along the near sideline. Bounces at about the 5 and will roll its way back up towards the 7, where the Big Green will take over. So they've got a long field to try and work with as they look to get their first points on the board this afternoon. Dartmouth missing a pair of field goals, one albeit coming from 56 yards, but also not able to punch the ball in on a first down and goal to go, with 4 opportunities coming from inside the 2. A big part of this Yale defense is what sits on the back end. Abu Kamara. There's a reason he made the Buck Buchanan preseason watch list. There's a reason he was a stats preseason All-American. Getting a look at what he did last year, or earlier this year, excuse me, I should say, against the Big Red of Cornell. Came up with a pair of interceptions in that game, had a fumble block kick. A guy that can do it all defensively for this Bulldog team. He has been key for them this afternoon. He's got 10 tackles to lead all tacklers here today. Big Green will hand off Crother, trying to turn the corner, able to tiptoe up the sideline, out of bounds at the 15. Flag is going to fly. I think they're going to get Phoenix Grant on a late hit. We'll sort out the yellow.
After further discussion on the field, there is no foul. They'll bring up second down.
So they'll pick the flag up. 7-yard run for DJ Crother on first down. He's approaching 40 yards rushing, but it has been hard-earned yards for Crother here today.
I'm getting another look at that last play. That's the right call to take the flag off the board. It looked like Grant made contact with Crother before his foot touched down out of bounds.
Snap will come with about 5 seconds. Last play of the third quarter. Slung to the outside. Kedrick Fisher has his first catch of the afternoon up to the 22-yard line. That'll give Dartmouth a first down and a fresh set of downs to work with when we come back here in Hanover. Making the turn for home from Buddy Teven Stadium at Memorial Field. The Big Green looking to blaze a comeback in the fourth quarter against the Bulldogs of Yale for the second consecutive season. It's Yale in front 10-0 at the end of 3. series continues here for the Big Green. First down and 10 from their own 22. Down 10-0 against the Bulldogs of Yale here at homecoming in Hanover. Nick Lemon moving in motion back behind the quarterback. They'll swing it to Lemon in the flat, trying to make some space down the sideline. Forced out of bounds by Kamara. Up across the 25 to the 28, maybe the 29, they'll say. So a 7-yard gain on first down. First catch of the afternoon for Lemon, the junior of Raleigh, North Carolina.
I feel like that's the way to get Dartmouth's offense going. Get the ball to your playmakers in space. It's a creative way to get the drive started, especially with Lemon starting out in the backfield, and that essentially functions as a run play from a different starting point.
Lawrence mentioning Daniel Houghton for the second consecutive week for the Big Green. Handoff goes Crowther, stutter step. Right to the first down line where he is smacked but is able to pick up enough for the first. Needed 3 and was able to get 4. Crowther up to 43 yards rushing now, but it's come on 14 carries. The running lanes have not been there. You have to give credit to what this Yale defensive line and the second and third level of the D has been able to do.
And they haven't needed to put extra players in the box to keep Dartmouth's run game contained. It's that initial push from their 4-man front that's been able to get the job done on its own.
First down and 10, Dartmouth from their 33. Saunier calls for the snap. Play action. Hanging in, looking, floating down the sideline, trying to find O'Bara. Makes the grab. Yes! First down at the Bulldog 46. What a throw there to Grayson O'Bara.
That's what Saunier can do. When you give him time to throw, he gets to go through all of his options and fits the ball into a tight window.
No buzz from above as the play will come. Handoff goes to Desmond Jackson. Stops and turns. Jackson makes a man miss. Still on his feet and dives forward to the 40-yard line. Designed to go to the right. Nice cut back there by Jackson. Able to worm his way forward for about 6.5.
We'll see the residual effect of that O'Bara catch within the next couple of plays. That feels like something that gives this Dartmouth team momentum. Haven't had too much success going through the air, especially on those downfield throws, but they were able to convert, and we'll see if that allows Saunier to find his groove on top of the run game, getting more lanes.
Jonathan Nelson was the man in motion. Handoff comes here to Jackson. Look who's out in front and blocking. It's O'Bara. And Jackson, a couple of nifty moves, dives across the 35 down to the 34. Picks up 6 yards.
And there's the quarterback, Grayson Saunier, getting his shoulder in there, too. He was pretty much the lead blocker for Jackson. You think he doesn't want to win this game?
Good job.
He's doing everything for him.
Good job getting in the way as Nelson goes in motion across the formation. Now Jackson turns it upfield. Finds his way close to the 30. 4 more yards picked up for the Big Green. Desmond Jackson getting the call here, helping to carry things down the field for Dartmouth. He'll get a breather as DJ Crowther will check back in. Jackson only had 2 attempts last week against the Quakers of Penn, going for 11 yards. We'll see O'Bara check in, and Jonathan Nelson will check out. O'Bara's lined up in the far side slot. Lemon's on the numbers here. Sean Ward in the game at tight end for the Big Green. 2nd down and 6. Saunier looking to pass, pressure coming, throws down the middle of the field. Diving grab by O'Bara. Grayson O'Bara making some plays. They'll mark him down at the 11. So the Big Green can pick up a first down without a touchdown. 19 yards on the pitch and catch from Saunier to O'Bara. And now the Big Green offense starting to find the groove.
That's the first time today that Saunier has been able to make a throw under pressure.
Handoff goes to Crowther. Looking for a hole the right side. Drives his way down to the 6.
DJ Crowther on the carry for Big Green. CJ Daniel with the first hit.
So a gain of about 5 there for DJ Crowther. Will bring up 2nd down and 5.
4-yard gain.
This is where Dartmouth needs to learn their lesson. They had a similar scenario at the end of the first half. 4 snaps from inside the 1-yard line and came away with nothing. But with the game on the line, under 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, this needs to be a scoring drive right here.
2nd down and 6 officially for the Big Green, coming from the Bulldogs' 6-yard line. Dartmouth 0 for the red zone today. Looking to get any points on the board here against Yale. Crother handed off in the backfield, and no one, instead it's Saunier, it's a keeper, and he's in! Read option play, Saunier rumbled his way towards the end zone line, he's in for the score.
That is why you commit to the run game. Dartmouth had worn Yale out throughout that drive with Crother and Jackson toting the rock. And they keyed in on the running back on the read option. It gave Saunier plenty of space. This time, he is able to break the goal line. No review necessary.
Got okey-doked on that one. The play fake was so good that Ezekiel Larry tried to bring down DJ Crother. He didn't have the football. Saunier plows it in from 6 yards out. 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Zalk on for the PAT. Snap is there a little bit low, but the hold is down. The kick is up. It is through, and it is good. Big Green get on the board for the first time this afternoon. It's 10-7 here early on in the quarter. So the Big Green had to make some big plays on the drive. None bigger than the 19-yard catch coming here to Grayson O'Bara, setting Dartmouth up. Knocking on the door of the Bulldog end zone. And Grayson Saunier, the power, rumbling in from 6 yards out. We got ourselves a brand new ball game here early in quarter number 4.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Life is full of unexpected twists, and that's where we come in. At the Richards Group, we provide more than insurance. We provide peace of mind. We're your trusted insurance partner, protecting what you value most right here in Vermont and New Hampshire. Whether it's your home, car, or business, we've got you covered. Life in our region is full of adventure. Live it to the fullest, knowing we're just a phone call away. The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
Sorry I'm late.
As you know, we're running a business here, and you have done a lot for us.
But we think you can do more.
So we're putting you in a new position where you can step up, add value, and make a real difference for all of our futures.
What do you say?
Ready to put your money to work? Then start working with Ledyard Bank, where our trusted advisors are here to help businesses like yours achieve their financial goals.
You're going to be just fine.
Ledyard National Bank. Advisors, partners, neighbors.
Dartmouth had a long field to work with. They had to go 92 yards to find the end zone, and they were able to do so. 11 plays, just over 5 minutes of game time. Grayson Saunier bowling his way in from 6 yards out, getting Dartmouth on the board for the first time here today. Matisse Weaver will send this over the head of Tarver out the back of the end zone. So the Bulldogs will bring the football out to the 25-yard line as they look to try and create some separation now between themselves and the Big Green. 10-7 with 10:24 to go here in the fourth.
Ideally for Yale, you want a scoring drive that takes about 5 to 6 minutes off the clock. This is the point of the game where you're not really trying to take the air out of the football, but a scoring drive would swing the momentum in your favor significantly. And especially after Dartmouth put together that 90-plus yard drive on the last series, the momentum is on their sideline. You have to find a way to mitigate that.
Dante Reno bringing the offense back out. We'll swing it outside to Nico Brown. Passes loose, and they're going to say incomplete. Trying to set up the screen to Brown, but sailed it just high. Reno now 12 for 22, throwing the football 131 yards. Does have the one touchdown. Saunier 12 for 18, throwing the football for 121.
That throw was way off the mark and not something you see too often between Reno and Brown. And that wasn't far away from being a Dartmouth pick six the way that ball was deflected.
Handoff goes. Pitzenberger has some space, rumbles his way across the 30.
Josh Pitzenberger takes the con for
He's
Yale.
able to pick up 5 yards, which will set up Yale again in a third and manageable. 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. 7 of 12 on 3rd down conversions today.
If I'm the Big Green defense, go back to the well. If you want to get off the field right here, you have to keep getting pressure up the middle, force Reno out of the pocket, and to throw on the run where he's had a lot of difficulty today.
Dartmouth crowd trying to get loud and get behind this defense. Play call comes in from the sideline. Pitzenberger in the backfield along with Reno. In motion, Pitzenberger out. They're looking in his direction. Swing pass comes. Williams can't get off the block. Pitzenberger's got the first down and more. Turns the corner. 45-50. Now dancing outside. Uses a stiff arm and brought down from behind, but a big gainer down into Dartmouth territory as he's brought down at the Big Green 44.
It was the blocking on the outside that was able to free Pitzenberger up for big yards. This is what we were talking about earlier in the game, how he's a 3-down back, and you can keep him on the field in any scenario because of his useful skill set. And oh, by the way, Nico Brown's had a big impact today catching the football himself. He's the one that delivered the key block.
26 yards on the pitch and catch to Pitzenberger. He gets spelled here by Dahl, who runs into the line. Still on his feet and finds his way forward of the 40.
That big screen pass is a play that could really take the air out of the football for Yale. You now find yourself in plus territory with 9 minutes to go. Obviously, you want to finish this drive off with a touchdown, but if you can do that while also draining the clock, it's a win-win for the Bulldogs.
2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard run by Dahl. Reno looking towards the outside. Pass is going to be complete over there. Jackson Santiago, his first catch of the afternoon.
This has been a theme for the Yale offense throughout the day. Get your job done on 1st and 2nd down to make your life easy on 3rd down. And with the game hanging in the balance, 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, they find themselves in 3rd and 1. Plenty of ways to go about moving the chains.
First 3 games of the season, the Big Green allowed 10 3rd down conversions. They've allowed 8 this afternoon. It won't be a 3rd down conversion here. Getting into the backfield is Tyson Grimm to bring down Pitzenberger by the shoulders. And now decision time for Tony Reno's squad.
I don't think it's much of a decision. The offense is not going anywhere.
Play made by Grimm coming into the backfield. They're going to go for it on 4th. 2nd time today the Bulldogs are trying to go for it on 4th down. The Green crowd trying to get behind it. Reno's going to pass, slings it over the middle, and it is intercepted! Interception, Dartmouth! There's a hog pile for the football. It looked like it was intercepted. Big Green coming away with it. And it's going to be Dartmouth football. Big Green need to make a big play, and it's exactly what they do.
Oh, I think Reno had that first down if he leads Brown. The throw was behind him, and that's what allows Dartmouth to make the play.
Sean Williams with a huge play. We'll see what the Big Green offense can do in response when we return after this timeout. receiver, and Williams with the diving interception, his second pick of the season. Dartmouth is set up, first down and 10 from their own 25. Handoff comes Crother on a stretch play. He's going to be stacked at the line of scrimmage and wrestled down to the turf. Maybe a half yard or so on the tote there for DJ Crother.
If you're Dartmouth, I'm surprised they didn't just take a shot. The momentum is entirely on your side. You scored the touchdown your last drive. You come up with the big fourth down INT. Why not go for the home run ball with all that behind you?
Interception for Williams, the 9th of his career. First career interception came against Yale down in the Yale Bowl back in 2022. Second down and 9 as they give Crother a half yard. Saulnier's going to tuck it and run. Saulnier spinning out of a tackle at the 30 up to about the 33. The tackle made in the open field. Ezekiel Larry was in the area to help knock Saulnier to the turf. Now it's Dartmouth with a third down and short.
That's a play Dartmouth desperately needed to make, especially after the interception. You can't afford to run two negative plays. Saulnier has great awareness to step up in the pocket and identify the running lane. Yale took away all of his options downfield, and Saulnier has made a living this afternoon on taking what the defense is giving him with his legs.
Dartmouth is just 3 for 8 on third down today. Percentage-wise, they were the best team in the FCS entering play here. Handoff will go to Crother. Stutter step, has the first down, plus a little bit more. Still on his feet. Crother breaking tackles and carrying the pile with him across the 45 to the 47. Refusing to go down, DJ Crother. That looked like it might have been just enough for the first down. Instead, it was a burst and pushing the sticks ahead for the Big Green as they look to try and take the lead on this drive, or at least tie the football game up.
Kind of like Pitzenberger, Crother is a running back that gets better as the game goes along. That physical style makes him tough to bring down, and as it wears out the defense, the running lanes become a little bit wider at this stage.
A little bit of trickeration. Saulnier looking down the sideline for Corbo. The pass is picked off. Abu Kamara is able to make the play, but there's a flag down in the backfield. Phoenix Grant hands to the helmet. This one might be going against the Bulldogs.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic.
We're trying to get another look at it if we can. The Big Green go to some trickeration. Kamara made one fine play to bring that down, but the personal foul penalty on the backside.
That's a bailout for Dartmouth. Kamara makes a great play, but Saulnier underthrew that football. If he puts a little more underneath that, he has Corbo running wide open down the sideline, and that's an easy 6. But Grant comes in late and gives Dartmouth a new leash on life.
7th penalty of the game against the Bulldogs of Yale. They came in averaging 9 accepted penalties against them in a game this season. Crother will take the handoff, looking for a hole right side, not much doing. Wrapped up quickly, Mac Johnson in on the tackle along with Xavier Coleman. Gets maybe a yard or so on the play. Now the clock's starting to become a factor as well, as we're inside 5 minutes remaining. Big Green have embarked on several clock-turning drives this afternoon, but so far just the one scoring drive. It came on their last drive before this one. Going 92 yards in 11 plays in just over 5:15 of game time. Second down and 9 from the Bulldog 37. Saulnier looking to sling it. Pumps. Now Saulnier's just going to run with it. He's got a lot of turf to burn. Saulnier pointing for blockers downfield. Saulnier down the sideline. Saulnier into the end zone. Touchdown, Dartmouth! 37 yards on the touchdown run, and the Big Green move in front for the first time this afternoon. He's been making plays with his legs all afternoon. The coverage was there, and he just tucked it and ran. And that man took off, burning a path down the sideline.
What a read from Saulnier. He identified the gap in the line with nobody downfield open, and he's got the speed to gain the edge and burn it down the sideline.
Zalcon for the PAT. The kick is up. It's on the way. It is through, and it is good. 14 unanswered here in the fourth quarter for the Big Green. Has them in the lead for the first time today. Buckle up, everyone. It's going to be a fun finish here in Hanover between the Bulldogs and the Big Green. First 6 drives of the game for the Big Green of Dartmouth, no points. Last 2 drives of the game for the Big Green, 14 points on the board. Grayson Sagne has found the end zone not once but twice, this time on a 37-yard rumble down the sideline, giving Dartmouth their first lead of the afternoon.
This has been how he's gashed this Yale defense today. They've done an outstanding job limiting his impact with his arm, but they've let him run wild all over their defense. Second straight game with 2 rushing TDs, 90 yards.
Weaver's just going to squib this one. It takes a bounce, and Bulldogs will have a chance on the return. Billy Estep across the 25. Shoulder thrown into him by Jordan Barnes across the 30. And then a little bit of tangle up afterwards. Dartmouth sideline was looking for a penalty, but none is going to be coming. Sammy McCorkle out there trying to make the point that it was illegal hands to the face, but the officiating crew's doing little more than listening at this point. So first down and 10 for the Bulldogs. It'll be coming from their own 31-yard line, it appears.
Just over 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They can still use their entire playbook. If I'm head coach Tony Reno, there's no need to panic. You can continue to do what's worked for you offensively and utilize your run game to put together what could be a game-winning drive.
Ball officially spotted on the 30-yard line as the shadows start to creep on Buddy Teven Stadium at Memorial Field. Pitch goes to Pitzenberger, looking for some space, has a hole left side on his feet. Will rumble his way to a first down on the pitch. 120 yards now on the ground for Joshua Pitzenberger, coming on 31 carries. The man has been a workhorse this afternoon.
He's one of the best running backs in the Ivy League because of that shiftiness. That's not the scouting report coming in. He's known more as that between the tackles bruiser, but he's got that burst.
No burst here as he runs into the backside of the line, and for the first time here today, the Big Green will get him for a negative rushing play as he's brought down about a half yard behind the line of scrimmage.
If Dartmouth wants to stonewall Yale right here, the way to do it is to get them off schedule. Their running game has been very good at picking up 3 to 4 yard gains on first downs, but they finally, in the final 3 minutes and 30 seconds of this game, force a loss on a Pitzenberger carry.
Pitzenberger up to the line, saying something to the lineman now. It's going to be a pass play. He leaks out. Reno's rolling. Reno's going to run for the sideline and scamper out of bounds after a gain of company.
Reno's very selective about when he uses his legs. He's more of a pocket passer. Isn't going to fool you with his mobility, but that was an important carry for him. It's not really something he looks to do. He's a guy who keeps his eyes downfield, but with the game on the line, he makes the smart play and doesn't try to force anything downfield.
3rd down and 7. Reno rolling out, looking to the sideline, has a man right at the sticks. Aiden Stevens makes the catch across midfield. They needed 7, and he got 8, and the drive stays alive for the Bulldogs.
Yale doesn't have to run another play before the 2-minute timeout, but we'll see if they'll try to sneak one more before the clock runs down.
Stevens with the grab, just his 2nd catch of the afternoon, just his 4th catch of the season. Just 3 seconds to get the snap off. Reno does. Pitch play coming here. Pitzenberger has a wall of white in front of him, wrapped around the shoulders, but continues to churn forward. And he'll pick up a first down to the Dartmouth 39 with $1:55 showing on the clock. That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. The Big Green defense trying to stand strong, but Yale finding ways to move the ball here offensively. Pitzenberger continues to grind as the Bulldogs look to try and take a come from behind win here in the fourth quarter. Strap up, everybody. Here we go. 14-10, Dartmouth in front. For the Bulldogs driving. 2 timeouts to use, a minute 55 to go. It's touchdown or bust for the Bulldogs on this drive. Reno standing in the pass, swings it to Pitzenberger. Pitzenberger looking for blocks downfield. Cuts back inside around the 35. Will be stood up. And they'll finally blow the play dead down to about the 34. 4th catch of the afternoon for Pitzenberger. He'll be close to 180 all-purpose yards. He's rushed for 130. That reception will put him up at about 46 yards receiving. He's in the backfield along with Reno. Less than 90 ticks to go. Swing to the outside. Santiago's got it working for the sideline. He's out of bounds, just shy of the 20.
For Yale, the clock is the last thing on their mind. A minute 21 to score a touchdown with only 21 yards to go and 2 timeouts. They can still use their entire playbook. That last toss, they just had Jackson Santiago in plenty of space along the near side. Great awareness to get out of bounds and save clock.
1:21 to go, 1st down and 10 from the Dartmouth 21-yard line. Brown's the motion man. He's been the man at receiver today. 8 catches for 113 yards. This one's just going to be slung out of play as pressure came in from Nico Schweikel. He buried Reno in the backfield. Reno did well to see that pressure and just get rid of it.
And he had Wagner in the area too, so even though he's within the tackle box, it's not grounding. But the way Dartmouth has mitigated this Yale passing attack is by sending that blitz up the middle. That's exactly what they do right here. Schweikel comes off the edge and keeps Reno in the pocket to force the throwaway.
Only 5 seconds go off the clock. 2nd down and 10 from the Dartmouth 21. Handoff Pitzenberger, stutter step, Pitzenberger carrying Schweikel with him. Schweikel brings him down, but not before gaining about 7 on the play. Pitzenberger just continues to go here. That's his 34th rushing attempt this afternoon. The Bulldogs have run 68 plays. The ball has gone into his hands for over half of them, and you factor in his 4 catches. Reno rolling out in the flat, has a man open, that's Stevens. And Stevens is out of bounds at the Dartmouth 8. 1st down and goal to go.
Now if you're Yale, you just have to run your 4 best plays. 50 seconds left on the clock. They've done such a good job getting down the field that they've taken the clock out of the equation. They can do whatever they need to do. They're not just restricted to keeping the ball in the air, especially with the 2 timeouts in their back pocket.
1st down and goal to go for the Bulldogs, coming from the Dartmouth 8-yard line. Pitzenberger's in the backfield. Reno looking to pass, swinging to the corner of the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. No flag. Good coverage that time by Patrick Campbell. Looking to try and set up the jump ball in the corner with Robbie Tattersall.
Campbell is 5 inches shorter than Tattersall. The way to make the play against a big-bodied tight end like that is to have perfect technique. And Campbell was in the right position and played that ball the right way to keep Tattersall from having a chance at it.
Dartmouth fans rising to their feet, trying to will on this defense. 2nd down and goal to go. Big Green bringing pressure. Pass across the middle is going to be incomplete, but a flag flies on the play. Hit might have come in up high on Dante Reno. And that's going to give the Bulldogs a chance to work closer with a fresh set of downs. Tyson Grimm has the flag thrown. And now the clock becoming a factor, not so much for the Bulldogs, but for the Big Green on the other side.
You just got to know better if you're Tyson Grimm. Once the quarterback releases the ball, you have to do everything in your power to slow up. I'm sure in his mind he thinks that penalty is a little soft. Not much he could do to get out of the way, but as a defensive player, you just have to find a way to slow your momentum in that situation.
It's not just the football moving forward 4 yards. It's now a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal to go. Jump pass, back of the end zone, caught! Touchdown! Graham Smith hauls it in, and the Bulldogs move back in front with less than 40 seconds to go. Dante Reno with the jump pass at the line, and Graham Smith hauls it in for the score.
That's such a creative play call down around the goal line. Reno's shown a little of that escapability throughout this game. And with a big body at 6'5" in Graham Smith to throw to, that has to be your primary target in situations like that, and he put that ball in the money.
Noah Piper on for the PAT. It is up, and it is no good! No good! Piper pulls it. And there's life yet for the Big Green. Piper cannot convert the point after attempt, and it remains a 2-point game with 37 seconds left.
Dartmouth just caught a massive break. Now, if Grayson Saunier can lead a quick drive down the field, they can win this with a field goal. Owen Zalk, after an 0-for-2 start, has to put it out of his mind. And with such a stacked schedule coming up for this Dartmouth team, a win would go a long way towards their Ivy League title aspirations and an automatic bid to the FCS tournament.
We've got one more non-conference game coming up. They'll be on the road next week down in the Bronx as they take on the Rams of Fordham. And then it's back at home on Friday night, a short week, and nationally televised game on ESPNU against Columbia before rounding out against Harvard, Princeton, Cornell, and Brown. What does the Big Green offense have up its sleeves with 37 seconds to go? And as you mentioned, all 3 timeouts remaining. I've not seen Dartmouth return a kick yet today. This is a team that, generally speaking, does not return a lot of kicks. They take a chance here to try and improve their position. Now needing just a field goal to try and steal a win away from the Bulldogs of Yale. Back and forth we've gone. We've seen 3 consecutive scoring drives here in the fourth quarter. Reeves will wave for the fair catch. Dartmouth will preserve some clock. And they'll bring the ball out to their 25-yard line. Dartmouth got their first touchdown of the game, going 92 yards on 11 plays. Grayson Saunier rumbling in from 6 yards out. Then an interception by Sean Williams on a Bulldog pass on 4th down. Set the Big Green up from their own 25. That took them 6 plays to find their way down the field. That time Saunier from 37 yards out. But how about the Bulldogs responding with a 13-play, 70-yard drive taking 3 minutes and 29 seconds. Dante Reno, the jump pass to Graham Smith, first ever collegiate touchdown catch for the tight end. Puts his team in front 16-14, but Noah Piper missing the PAT. The Big Green have to get within field goal range, but Owen Zalk 0-for-2 this afternoon. Zalk standing in, swings it to the sideline. Chris Corbo's got the catch and is forced out of bounds. Gain of about 8, only the second catch of the game for Corbo. But that does stop the clock with 32 seconds remaining.
The rest of this drive, Dartmouth can still use the entire field. It just so happened that Corbo was the open man on the near sideline, but with all 3 timeouts, you can still put the ball wherever you want if you're Grayson Saunier.
No wind to speak of today. If the Big Green do get themselves in a position to try and kick this one for a win. Pressure coming. Saunier swings it out. Crother down the near sideline will find first down yardage up to the 40 and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 26 seconds remaining. So a couple of quick passes here for the Big Green. Have them inching their way towards midfield. Still all 3 timeouts to use. Second catch of the afternoon coming there for DJ Crother. He's in the backfield along with Saunier. Bulldogs showing pressure. They're going to bring 6. Saunier airing it out, looking deep down the field. Pass is going to hang up and it falls incomplete at the 20. Looking for O'Bara. Good coverage on the play by Abu Kamara.
It looked initially like O'Bara got a step, but Kamara has so much closing speed that he made up that gap almost immediately, and he just hung in there stride for stride to force the incompletion.
5 seconds roll off the clock. 21 ticks remaining for the Big Green. Second down and 10 from their own 40. The Bulldogs have one more stop in them today. Looking to try and spoil homecoming here in Hanover for Dartmouth. They'll rush 4. Saunier stands in. Pressure coming. Saunier is going to run with it. Saunier wrapped up around the waist. Dartmouth's going to have to burn a timeout after a gain of 5. Pocket started collapsing around the backside for Grayson Saunier. Elected to try and tuck and run, but didn't get too far before he's brought back down to the turf. Now clock is really becoming a factor. You've got 14 seconds left. Still 2 timeouts for the Big Green. We saw Zalk try to field goal from about 56 yards out, so you have to imagine it's got to be close to the range. Bulldogs of Yale came in with a win in their only Ivy contest over Cornell a couple of weeks ago. They'll get back in the Ancient Eight schedule 2 weeks from today when they take on the Quakers of Penn at home. Penn picking up a win last night at home against Marist. They've got a non-conference contest against Stonehill. Skyhawks played the Quakers of Penn tough down in Easton before the Quakers escaped with a 24-21 win earlier this season. And then, of course, the game everyone has circled on their calendar, the big one at the end as they take on Harvard in a game simply known as the game.
If they can close out this win today, the game might be for the first ever Ivy League FCS automatic bid.
3rd down and 5. Everyone would certainly hate to see that happen. Snap comes. Saunier standing in. Bulldogs rushing forward. This is taking a long time to develop. Now he's motioning downfield. Fires. Has a man open. Kedrick Fisher makes the catch with 7 seconds left. Inside the 35, down to the 33. Big Green call a timeout immediately. Now you've got a chance maybe to run one more play to see if you can get yourself closer. You're right at the edge of the rain for Zalk. It's going to be tough to see what they'll do here. But how about the play by Kedrick Fisher?
It looked like on that play, Saunier was doing everything in his power to keep himself from doing what he normally does and getting out of the pocket and scrambling. With so little time on the clock, so much ground to cover, you have to keep your eyes downfield. And Saunier spotted Fisher just in the nick of time before his only option was to get out of the pocket. Outstanding awareness, and he delivered one on the money to Fisher.
This would be about a 51-yard attempt if they elect to try to go for the field goal here. 7 seconds remaining. Zalk has attempted 2 field goals today. He's missed from 31. He's missed from 56. The offense is going to come back out, it looks like, to maybe run one more play. Maybe they try to center the football, possibly.
That has to be what you do here. You can't risk taking one more shot down the field and letting the game run out, or rather letting the remaining 7 seconds on the clock run out.
Saunier will go under center. Takes the snap. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to run behind the pile. Smack from behind. Gets hit. Big Green will take a timeout with 4 seconds left. That's their last timeout to take. Yale's got 2, so you have to imagine it might be trying and ice the kicker.
For what it's worth, maybe there's some sort of psychological thing to this, but both of Zalk's missed kicks were going the other way in the first half. Perhaps kicking in the shadows makes some sort of a difference for him. Kicking is such a psychological job. Perhaps that change of the side could be what gets those 2 misses out of his mind. You're kicking to a new side, you're 0 for 0 from this side. Maybe you just treat it like an entirely new kick. You don't think about the ones before.
First team All-Ivy a season ago. He was a stats preseason All-American coming in for what he did. This is him showing all kinds of kicking skills. This is at the indoor practice facility, hitting the crossbar with a soccer ball from about 60 yards out. This is lined up to be a 51-yard field goal, and Tony Reno is going to call timeout. He's got 2 to use, so he'll take it here to make Zalk think about it just a little bit more. Big Green staged an amazing comeback a season ago down at the Yale Bowl, trailing by as many as 21 in the 4th quarter to come back and force overtime and escape with a 44-43 win. This year, coming back in the 4th quarter, taking their first lead in the 4th quarter, only to see the Bulldogs respond with a touchdown drive their own. But the missed PAT coming from Noah Piper has set the Big Green up at a chance here to try and snatch another victory away from the Bulldogs of Yale. A chance to try and escape with another heartbreaker over the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, Matt, whenever these 2 teams meet, the scriptwriters go above and beyond.
It has not been boring when these 2 teams have gotten together. Dartmouth last beating Yale here at home in 2021. That was an overtime homecoming win. Zalk lined up, trying to hit from 51. Woods Ray looks back to his kicker, calls for the snap. The hold is down, the kick is up, the kick is on the way, the kick is good! Dartmouth wins! redemption for Owen Zalk. 51-yard field goal to win it as time expires, and the Big Green pick up their first Ivy win here in 2025.
What a game.
Right down the middle.
This feels like the perfect end. Both offenses were stuck in neutral. Dartmouth was shut out in the first half in no small part due to 2 Owen Zalk missed field goals. But that's what makes him the reigning Ivy League Special Teams Player of the Year. That's what makes him a reigning All-American. He can put that out of his mind and come up with the big kick with perhaps the playoff hopes for this Dartmouth team on the line in week 4.
Dartmouth doing just enough. They get 17 points on the board, all coming in the second half. And Owen Zalk finding his way to boot through a 51-yard field goal. Sammy McCorkle talks a lot about mental toughness. I'm sure it's something he'll cite when we have a chance to chat with him this week, but shaking off those misses earlier in the game and coming through in the clutch when he needed to, staking Dartmouth to the 17-16 victory, second consecutive year they beat the Bulldogs by just a single point. So Dartmouth will improve to 3-1 on the season, 1-1 within the Ivy League. Yale is going to fall to 2-2 overall, 0-2 inside the Ancient Eight. Joshua Pitzenberger, certainly a tip of the cap in today, 138 yards rushing on the ground. Big Green able to come up though with a drive at the end, just 37 seconds to get themselves in field goal range, and are able to do so. Owen Zalk nailing it from 51 yards out to give the Big Green the victory this afternoon. I want to pass along our thanks to Justin McClure, the Sports Information Department, to make sure we're set up and ready to roll today. To the overarching man that made sure everything is up and on the air. It's a busy day and it's not done yet for Kelvin Kirkland, so a tip of the hat to you, sir, for directing our way through today. JJ Rice has been our producer, Mike Cahill has been our replay operator. Andy Hamill, Jim Moore, Josh Poland, Jay Perrin, and Daxi Sengavi have been working the cameras this afternoon. Ryan Zimmer is the man on my right. My name is Matt Corsetti. I want to say thank you again so much for joining us here for this presentation of the Ivy League on ESPN. 17-16, Dartmouth comes away with a thrilling clock-expiring victory here at Homecoming. All games on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. And this has been a presentation of ESPN.